First, I've always loved this photo. What photo have you always loved? I wonder. How are you guys doing? Look, I'm wearing a shirt again, but I'm too hot right now, so I need to turn down my radiator. Hope you're all doing okay. I need to delete my audio application capture betas as well. How do I delete this? Incubation beta. Yep. There we go. Right. How are we all doing today? Apparently not many of you are in here. I guess I've been live very... Oh, there we go. The chat just feels a little slow this morning. What's going on? Your YouTube profile picture photo. Oh, thank you. It's outside the Institute of Arab and Islamic Studies at Exeter. Dressed up for us today. Well, you probably won't be best pleased. I'm wearing shorts with this shirt, but the only reason I'm doing that is...
And I'm a huge fan of Dennis...
Oh, sorry, I'm accidentally listening to a video about Charlie Kirk talking about his final book, which you all damn know I was gassed up for. Early for once. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I might do some sloppy stuff, but I'm very interested in the Tim Pool versus Candace Owens. It is gold dust. Got to do, I guess. Someone mentioned that they're happy about the picture. It didn't happen. No, I'm not showing the shorts. You may see them by accident. I'm really hot, though, right now. Where are you to be in slush snow? Are you in the US? Because there is definitely no snow in the UK right now, or at least not where I am. It is shit weather, but there is a distinct lack of snow. Right, we'll do the Wordle quickly, because I've not done it yet today. Tim Pool is my dream man. I'm not bloody surprised about that. We'll start with something beginning with you. Untie. Let's go for... Oh... Played. Is that not how you spell it? Oh, it's ID, isn't it? Flayed. It's not a word. That's not how you spell it. It has a Y-E-D, isn't it? Or is it like that? Flayed. No, it's flayed. It's like that. I wish I hadn't used the N, because then I could guess something like that, but I don't want to. Plate. No, I've used the T as well. Grade, so let's go for... Ooh, okay. XRAE. So, frame it could be. It could be frame. It's maybe worth a try. I'm trying to think of other things it could be. No. So, ooh, no. Brace. Oh, it could be brace, frame. You know what? I'll go for brace. Ooh, is it frame? Ooh. Wait, what? This might be the first day you see me fail a Wordle. Serving cuns. Yeah, I certainly am today. Smash that damn like button. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Bray Spelden. That's what I was going for. Crate. No, we've used to C. Oh, I think you're right about erase. Maybe it is erase. Well done. That was a good guess if you hadn't got that before. Thank you, Chloe Gifford. That was a great guess. Well done. Fresh fire. I was not getting that, so double E. Yeah, that's why I wasn't getting it. First. Okay, guys, we're going to watch a 1 hour live stream of Girl with a Microphone doing a makeup tutorial from Juicy Jazz, so you'll better buckle up for that. That's what we're going to be doing for the next hour and a half. I decided to fuck off the news and just do that instead, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. You'll like never seen anything like it. Brace Belden is my dream man. Sorry, you probably heard me twice. DWE is a legend. Don't think K is related, though. No, don't worry. We are definitely not watching an hour-long video of some idiot trying on makeup. I'm joking. Sucker. Dupe. Lolly. Fake. Dummy. Sucker. Dummy. No, I'm talking about girl with a microphone. I'm not talking generally about get ready with me. If you want to watch it, then more power to you. I don't care. It's your decision. I'm talking specifically about someone who I really just think is an idiot. Heavens gracious mercy. Mercy gracious. Why am I finding this so hard? Why? Maybe this is things that sound like letters again. We're all idiots. Yeah, we need more people in here. Dear, yes. Are these Coldplay albums? Milo Xylotl, whatever it's called. Well, no, because Fake Dupe, this one altogether was, I think I'd already tried this. Yeah, like I've already guessed that, and that's one away from it. Fake Dupe, copy dummy. Fake Dupe, copy dummy. Nice, nice. Imitation. So you think it's Sucker, Candy, Lolly, and Sweet? Well, nice. Dear gracious mercy. Damn, I underestimated your... Oh, yeah, also today I tried on contact lenses for the first time in like 8 years. Took me half an hour to put in 2 contact lenses and get them out. It was an awesome experience, I will say. And I don't even want to wear them regularly. I don't care about glasses. Just to have like an option on, you know, like a special occasion not to wear glasses. But, why is it why, yes, yellow, year? Why is it those? I'll try it, but... Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lolly, yeah, lolly. Brilliant. What are these? Are these, like, just, my goodness. Dear, gracious, mercy, Lord have mercy, heavens. And you know what? We'll do the spelling bee. Thanks for your good guesses. Did you see Palestine Action Guy who slipped bail? Yeah, I did see that. I did see the story. Yeah, I'm sure I could wear them if I just did it for longer and practiced, and I probably will. But fuck me, putting stuff in my eye is not my forte. I just start blinking. I just got tailgate, so that was sick. We are not Volshites. Yeah, I don't watch animated nudies. So, you know, nudie animated videos. Not my thing. To each their own, as long as it doesn't involve youths. That's not something I appreciate. But yeah, I say my goodness often. It makes me feel like an old whiny lady whinging at bingo. Yeah, I mean, I say goodness gracious. I know the experience of taking ages to put on a lens. Yeah, I'd like to get better, and I will. I'm going to try them 5 times. I feel like there's something like this. Glean? No, glee. I can't believe I got tailgate so quickly. Short stack goblins. Who is looking at that? Animated goblins. That's what Vorsh had on his thing, right? He was like, it's goblins or something. Well, imagine having that on your PC, like the PC that you stream on as well. Like, someone was like, oh, why don't you get 2 PCs? And I got my old PC behind me, the one that sounds like a fucking plane taking off, but I don't use it because it's like, oh, fuck it, I'll just use this one. But, yeah, I mean, why you would ever be watching that on your PC? Love the hair, thank you. I didn't do anything to the hair, I just had a shower this morning after I went to the gym, and then I shoved contacts in my eyes for ages. Can any of you think of a word that goes in here that has all of them? Yield, there's no D. Gaggle, that's a good one. Gaggle of geese. Did he actually have a tax folder right beside it? That is crazy. Who is looking at that? Agile, that is a really good one. I like that so much. Agility is even better, so we'll go for that one. I mean, legal is definitely a word as legality. Oh, I got that. I got that. Come on. I got that myself. Egality. Wow. Oh. Oh, I guess it's only egalitarian is the word. Egality is not a worse. Elegy. Why do they say Tacoma wept? Why is that? I love geese. They are terrors. Yeah, I mean, they are. Yeah, I watched some of the Fuentes-Piers Morgan debate yesterday, but I don't know, bro. I'm not sure that's for me, watching the whole thing. Gaiety. I would never have got that. We got 47, which isn't bad. I think I could have done better. I mean, people just made this point, like, and I totally agree with this, that, you know, this is probably the most profound political analysis that I've seen in a while. When you genuinely realize next month is going to be 2026, also known as 1AK, one after Kirk, our entire calendar will be reimagined after that date. Also, there's someone who I knew growing up is also a YouTuber. I won't mention their name, but they're like just someone who, I didn't know them that well, they're an odd character, but they like were posting how sad they were about Charlie Kirk's death and how he was like a spiritual and moral guide for them. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, if this guy is your like spiritual moral guide, you know? Would Tagliatelle actually have worked there? Ooh. You know what? This is actually a good time to use the incognito window. No, wait, what was I going to search? What's it called? Wait, I'll do it over here, just in case. Just in case you see the short stack goblins. What's it called? Imagine I just have a folder called short stack goblins. That would be incredible. What would it be called? Oh, what was that called? Spelling bee. Are any of you Americans in here? Did you actually have spelling bees in real life? Because we didn't have those in the UK. Tagliatelle. Oh, wow. That's an 11-letter bad boy. Wow. I wanted to see if that actually worked. That is amazing, whoever put that in. Bannerlord Enjoyer. Yeah, I haven't played Bannerlord in ages because the end game is really bad of Bannerlord. It's really, really, really bad. But yeah, if you're in his shoes, would you just have dodged? Well, I wouldn't be going to campuses and being racist and transphobic if I were in his shoes. I mean, we're going to talk about him because he factors into the Tim Pool, Candace Owens thing. But I just think it is important that, once again, I will not stop showing this because I have genuinely realized next month is going to be 2026, also known as 1AK, one after Kirk. I mean, he was really, really, like, just an important guy. And I don't know when we'll do the Dark Souls thing, but we'll do it. We will do it. Don't you worry about that. So the first thing I saw recently was an amazing video of Erica Kirk. So she's mourning Charlie Kirk. She's, you know, the world's saddest widow in deep grief, as we all well know. Great character. I got to put on the gamer headset.
But it's interesting. What I miss the most, what really just hits me hard is when I'm in the grocery store and I see his hot sauce. I want to buy it.
That is a thing that hits you hard. I know from other people who've lost family members, when you see their hot sauce at the grocery store, you want to buy it. Also, she definitely doesn't go to a grocery store. These people are multi-millionaires.
Or it's the little things, you know, his clothes everywhere.
What kind of clothes do you think she sees?
Excuse me, but it's the little things, and I know that people who have experienced loss totally understand what I'm saying. It's the small things that just get you.
Wait, why is it frozen?
Just get you. It's the, you know, small things that just get you.
Look at her rings as well. Wow.
It's the visual of, you know, Daddy coming home, and to the world he was Charlie Kirk, but to us he was my love of my life.
He wasn't just to the world Charlie Kirk. We are all Charlie Kirk too. He lives on in our spirits. He's our moral guide.
My children's dad, I'm so sorry.
Understandable.
Excuse me, but it's those little things where, again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I like, I am sorry, why do they give so much, why do they give so much ammunition to these people who are like, Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel? Why is she saying this?
Put in the junk drawer, and it was just all us. And that's what I always wanted to make so special for him.
Like, what is she talking about here? What is she talking about? Charlie Kirk was like a Christian, and he talked about the Sabbath a lot. But why would he be doing Shabbat on a Friday night? And why are you saying Shabbat Shalom? What is that?
And was coming home. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home. Home is here for you. Your food will never be cold. It might sit out for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine. And I just want to encourage spouses, don't get mad. It's so easy. Don't do it.
But yeah, you should be cooking your meals for Charlie Kirk on a Friday night. No, I don't think she is Jewish. It's just very odd, and they're giving ammunition. I mean,
today I could read it on air. I was just reading.
Apparently Charlie Kirk was learning Hebrew, though. He has such a small face.
Like we're going to be pro-Hamas. Not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I am learning biblical Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat, literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it. And there's another article out in the Times of Israel today. I could read it on air. I was just reading before I got on. Charlie, what are you doing? Like, what am I doing? Not like we're going to be pro-Hamas.
It is kind of crazy, though, that, like, people were saying that he was turning on Israel when this is a video of him that exists. Like, what the hell? I'd never seen that.
Well, weekend, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbat.
Oh my God, all of these right-wingers are wrong.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Turn off your phone. Enjoy your family. God bless America. See you guys Sunday night in Albuquerque.
Yeah, this guy was definitely not turning on Israel. And that was posted by one of a fan of Nick fucking Fuentes.
In the book, so
this has been upsetting a lot of these right-wing accounts.
So far, that stands out. Oh, I remember that conversation that led to that. Or on the flip side.
Well, I think that the thing is that the Charlie Kirk messages that leaked about him getting upset, I don't think they're actually of much significance. I think all he cared about was money and being in proximity to power, you know?
And on the flip side, is there something that you learned to your surprise while going through reading this book? Sorry about that.
The surprise side is, I mean, I knew my husband was brilliant, but the depth of understanding of this topic is amazing, and how he weaves in the Bible and how he just weaves in all these different interesting facts and history of the Sabbath, and then even certain laws like blue laws that we had here in this country, and how we have changed as an American.
By the way, also just being like, thinking that this is really intelligent, poignant analysis, that things have changed in America and that you no longer have laws enforcing the Sabbath. Yeah, welcome to capitalist society. Like that's not getting replaced if you continue living in this world. There's a reason that stuff is sold and opened on different days now.
Citizens without having that rest built into our country, and how that's...
Stop in the name of God. Why honoring the Sabbath will transform your life. That's the subtitle of his new book. His basic thought was you should rest on Sundays.
Actually impacted us as a whole.
I really like her. I'm liking what Erica's up to. Erica Kirk. How do I make this? How do I make a video full screen on Instagram? F11? Yeah.
Prager, and he's not doing great right now. We should pray for him. And he talked about the Sabbath forever.
Hold on.
Trying to be better servants of God with really high demand schedules. So do you just have any advice on that?
Are you honoring the Sabbath?
Also, apparently Charlie Kirk used to tweet and fight on Saturday afternoons, like, quite regularly. Charlie Kirk was definitely not, like, regularly honoring the Sabbath, but maybe he was. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's your advice. My advice always goes back to it's not me shaming you. I used to be that way. 4 years ago, I was stressed out, anxious. Biden became president. It was the summer of 21, and I was burned out. COVID burned me out. Floydapalooza burned me out. Biden burned me. It was a dark time. Remember that? Remember the summer of 21? Yep. It was just dark, right? They were arresting January 6ers. It was not the golden era. And I was burned out. I'm writing a book about this.
Bro was upset that they arrested insurrectionists.
It's coming out in December. And a pastor friend of mine said, well, Charlie, are you honoring the Sabbath? And I'm a huge fan of Dennis Prager, and he's not doing great right now. We should pray for him. And he talked about the Sabbath forever. And I think that us not following the Sabbath is one of our greatest failures as Christians. And
what day did Charlie Kirk get shot on? The 11th of... Oh, for fuck's sake, I was just on his account. Why is it doing that? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, no. I thought Charlie Kirk was killed on a Tuesday. No, he must have been killed on a Thursday. Literally, the week before he died, he was tweeting every day of the week. Is there any day where he stopped? No. Every day of the week before he died, he tweeted. This would be the Sabbath, I think. He tweeted every single day. He definitely did not do this stuff. Like, it's really funny. Like, there's not a stop here. Literally the week before this guy died. You know, he's constantly posting on his account. So unless someone else ran Charlie Kirk's account, then I don't know what to say. Also, there's a fucking fly and it's a result of the plants and I need to kill it. And oh no, I didn't. Oh. But yeah, like, the guy constantly tweeted. Can you hear that? For fuck's sake, what is that? Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, can you guys hear that noise? He'd still be alive if he honored the Sabbath. Maybe. But yeah, Anyway, really interesting for him to write a book about honoring the Sabbath when it's pretty evident that he didn't. You can hear that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello. He got stream sniped. Jesus. Okay, hopefully the noise goes away and it doesn't come on. No, it's the rattling of a water tank. That's the issue. It'll hopefully go away. No, it's a water tank. It shouldn't be on regularly. It's just because this is an ancient fucking house. But yeah, like, just what is this, like, retcon that Charlie was, like, the greatest Christian ever? I mean, we love Charlie here. We all like Charlie Kirk here. But yeah, Charlie, anyway, this has spawned, obviously, Charlie's greatest defender and lover, Candace Owens, who's been doing great research. The shooting Tim Pool survived in December 2022 was committed by his brother. His brother was the one who fired the weapon on his property. He cannot deny this fact.
Candace...
somber timber of your Britishness. I hope you're enjoying detailing your cars. That's a great time to be watching me. Then we got an amazing response out of Tim. The vile witch is now claiming my own brother tried to shoot me. This is an absolute lie. Candace is as vile as they come. She's a fucking demon. Thank you, Tim. Very cool. Thank you, Mr. Poole. I can't believe his real name is Tim Poole. But yeah, it doesn't end there. Now, what we actually got is Candace, first of all, posted a video, which I'm not even going to bother watching, because I expected it to, you know, be about Tim Pool. All it basically was there's not really a mention of Tim Pool in the video. It's just like a 40-minute video. Who stood to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination? He's in the thumbnail, so it's obviously inciting towards him. Poor Tim Pooley, probably why he's been shot, you know, of course. But anyway, Tim Pool produced an absolute meltdown out of this, which is quality content.
A large portion of people believe Turning Point, the victim, is actually the perpetrator. That's how terrifying the political climate is. The left doesn't have this degree of self-sabotage. And so if you think about, not only did the left get everything they could have dreamed of from the murder of Charlie Kirk. And again, I don't know what Robinson's...
By the way, just on this topic, I don't think anyone on the left actually dreamed of this, because most people were either celebrating or moralizing and saying a great crackdown is coming, and then what actually came was the biggest fracture imaginable, although Israel had already been tearing these morons apart.
His political affiliation is, got a transferee boyfriend. We'll see what the evidence shows.
So you believe the FBI story?
Who is that guy? Who is that guy? And yeah, can I believe what's under the beanie? I mean, Tim Pool is crazy.
I'm so... What does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh, what the FBI says, Tara Robinson did all that. So,
do you believe that? I think that the evidence we have seen thus far, Occam's razor, suggests Robinson is the likely culprit. We will see what happens in the trial when...
No, it was Egyptian planes.
Evidence is presented, but there's literally no other story. Just a bunch of fucking retards on the internet saying stupid shit.
I apologize for the language in this clip. Do not endorse it. Oh, goodness me. This guy says some crazy shit.
And what that does is the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected, which needs to persist. You don't got to be a fan of it, but it certainly will help get individual congressional candidates elected and stop Democrats from launching new committees and putting more people in prison like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. Instead, it's being gutted by fucking psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. So when this organization burns to the ground, or whatever the fuck happens to it, maybe they're fine. The organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader...
By the way, Turning Point may have been a positive influence in getting people elected, but it's still pretty evident that young people are more in favor of left-wing politics, is it not? I feel like every poll kind of shows that. But I think that also putting this much weight on what Charlie Kirk did is farcical. Yeah, they influence young people, But just acting as if the right wing will not be able to go on without Charlie Kirk is ridiculous. I mean, of course, I must reiterate, we are Charlie Kirk, but that is a specific thing. And I'm sorry, I feel like I should move the chat to do justice to Tim Pool, because this skateboard is so epic.
Founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's
period.
It's fucking evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag.
No.
She is a degenerate.
He's going to use a word here that I think I should probably skip. He uses the "see you next Tuesday."
She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making...
That's not true. That's not true. Stick my neck out. Yeah.
Making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited.
That's what he's upset about. I'm not even exaggerating. She just talks about Milo Yiannopoulos on Tim Pool. It's really not much about, like, Tim. It's really not actually that hypercritical of him.
From Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about...
That is a lie. You know Candace is being targeted by an international crack squad.
All of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy. And she doesn't give it...
He really doesn't like this guy. He really does not like Candace Owens' security.
Shit about our security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And, you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money, and she does not live the way other people live.
It's so funny. It's the same with all this Piers Morgan, Fuentes stuff. Like, how do you plan on calling these people out? You have trafficked in conspiracies, in lies, in saying whatever the hell you want with no basis on your podcast for years. And now someone who is part of the same base as you has fractured away, and you're so upset about it. It's just comical.
And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down.
To be fair, in comparison to a lot of people, I will say she does seem to have a lot more love and care for Charlie Kirk. I mean, she seems to have understood the message that we're all saying. Yeah, exactly. The purpose of making money, says the dude who took hundreds of thousands from Russia. Oh, I was creasing at this earlier. Like, the clip, we'll watch that clip after, and then we'll watch some other things where we talk about, where he talks about this. But when he's talking about, like, oh, I've got no money. You built a skate park in your house and, like, showed off about it.
He built. Because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again. This conservative movement is fractured. It's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it?
I mean, it's also because Trump has failed to deliver what he promised he was always going to, and I don't think he'll be... Well, I mean... we'll talk about some stuff later, but yeah. Can we please move on from Kirk for good now? No, because I think that Kirk is actually much more interesting as ripping apart the base. Like, already the problem was there with Israel, but it's really interesting for, like, because Mark said this, it's better to nationalize the dead, although I think it's actually a Benedict Anderson thing. Anyway, when someone is dead, they can never change their opinions. They can never speak out. It doesn't actually matter if Charlie Kirk was going to change on Israel or not. Candace Owens has this guy who was allegedly part of her movement, who she clearly had a close personal relationship with, a lot closer than a lot of these other people, and can now use in a way to be like, well, in the case of my story, they're all trying to kill me for speaking out against Charlie Kirk, and it is tearing apart their base.
Most effective political assassination in history, and thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens.
Oh, he said it again.
Turning
Sorry.
point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid.
I hate it when you do crimes against Turning Point USA.
By any of these people, I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards and conservatives.
We can choose to believe that, Marcus. I think there is a high chance that Charlie would have been a Maoist third worldist had he survived.
Media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. You know, and I get people saying, Tim, you know, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying.
He keeps talking about sticking out his neck and risking dying.
Dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens?
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail.
What a fucking cunt.
Imagine being this outraged over putting someone in a thumbnail. My gripes with Lonerbox. If you have not seen Lonerbox's fucking thumbnail, Lonerbox didn't make it. It's that Stardust woman who's like a big Destiny fan, who made the new Lonerbox thumbnail of me. That thumbnail, I'm gonna go on a 10-minute rant where I'm smashing the desk about that fucking thumbnail.
Of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd imply that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow. She
benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie.
Hey. No proof of that. Do not make allegations like that.
No one benefited more than her. And now she is, when you look at what's stopping us from winning in 2026 right now, what the biggest threat and the biggest fear we have is, it is the disarray on the right. It is the fracturing of the coalition of all the different voices that came together and stopped the neoliberal bullshit liberal economic order machine that was coming out and telling everybody to chop their dicks off and that you had to get fucking injected or get locked in your house. And here we have a coalition resisting and rejecting that. Charlie Kirk dies, and he's not perfect. He loved Israel. Some people don't like that. But he certainly did organize a movement that brought people together, that helped get Trump elected,
Yeah, but clinging to Israel is now the problem, because you can't deal with this. It's why Piers Morgan can't deal with someone like Nick Fuentes, someone who literally did not care about Israel prior to October the 7th.
Republicans win and resisted what the Democratic Party had been doing and these psychopath institutions. I don't want to go back to COVID. Does everybody remember what that was like? When you were locked in your home, you had to wear 2 masks and you couldn't go anywhere unless they stuck you in the arm. And the only resistance we had was these feckless loser Republicans who've got nothing done over the past year. And now Charlie Kirk was murdered. And we say, holy crap, what do we do? How do we keep things together? And Candace, with a smile on her face, and Ian Carroll and all the rest.
She is definitely stacking money from what she does, to be fair.
Most of them say, Turning Point did it to themselves. They destroyed themselves. Pull your donations.
I mean, supporting Israel unequivocally is going to end up being very bad for a lot of these right-wingers.
Because they work for Israel. Even Nick Fuentes calling it out, saying this is psychotic. So when we lose in the midterms and the Democrats bring back their panels and their subpoenas and they start arresting people like they had already done in the past 4 years, and then we get whatever the equivalent of lockdowns is going to be, and you get President Gavin Newsom, you can...
Apparently... Wait, what is the thing? In the last 3 years, the share of Republicans under 50 years old who have negative views of Israel jumped from 35 to 50%. By the way, under 50 years old is such a broad category as well. Like, bro, it's not just Charlie Kirk and crying over Candace Owens. It is clear that there is a major backlash against loving Israel. See you later, Silent Scythe.
Mark it all back to this moment when you had evil stand, scream, and cowards refuse to do anything.
With all due respect, always every single president loses in midterms.
And guess what?
Every single one.
The prediction markets showed that it was near 50-50 based on the political swing that we had seen. Gen Z, the first generation in 100 years to tick slightly rightward in some areas, not all, but some. And this was a big moment because while they were very similar to millennials, they were slightly more conservative in some areas. And
it's always this thing, which I think you need to realize about right-wing politics. They always need someone simple to blame. And Tim Pool going against Candace Owens is only going to fuel her narrative.
And we saw that in the past couple of years, Gen Z was actually skewing away from LGBTQIA issues. How is this happening? It is not only nor solely, but largely Charlie Kirk and his work with Turning Point. And so Turning Point certainly has its issues, but there's literally no reason to burn it to the ground. Unless, of course, it makes you famous and rich, you know? So I guess by all means, my issue right now is
people are shooting at you. That's obviously your
certainly 100%.
Who is this guy? Please, can someone tell me who this guy is? I mean, the dark glasses just for the drip. Indoors as well, may I add.
But we lost Charlie Kirk. You're thinking about, taking off.
We all lost Charlie Kirk. Don't make him yours. Thank you. I know everyone in the chat is up here kirking it out right now.
In the sunset. Who we got left? So Charlie's gone.
Candace Owens. Congratulations.
Okay, we got Candace Owens too.
Good. So you can spin around with your dick in your hand while you sound like a retard to the average person, and then Democrats win.
I mean, but you're taking off.
Yeah, you know why? Because people are not. When I get private texts and messages saying like, "Oh yeah, I agree with you, but I would never dare say anything," I'm like, I'm not doing this. My whole life, I have had a disdain for those who demand others work for them. Now, I hold on for a minute. Like, I understand we all work for each other. I'm saying, I remember when I was younger, I was like, we're in Chicago, I skateboard, but there's nowhere to skate in the winter. So what do we do? Well, holy crap, I figured something out. If 10 of my friends come together and put $100 down every month, we can actually rent a warehouse. And you know what they all said? You do it and then let me know and I'll think about it.
Yep.
And that's the world, and that's what people do. So when people...
Wait a second. Is he advocating for communism or socialism? That everyone should pull together for resources for everyone?
Message me saying I wouldn't dare speak up against Candace. I'm just like, oh, fuck off, dude. Coward. But to the people that have started speaking out, calling her out, good. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter in the end. It doesn't really matter in the end. She can say whatever she wants. She can do whatever wackaloon shows she wants. The fact that she put me on her thumbnail today, titled...
God, how old is this man? How old is this man to be so upset about a thumbnail? He's nearly 40. To be fair, though, I will say, Tim Pool at this age, beyond constantly wearing the beanie, does look markedly younger than Ethan Klein.
Who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death. Whether she's retarded, I don't think she is, or doing it intentionally, it doesn't matter. The message is clear. You speak up against her, and she will sick people on you. Is that the purpose?
That's all these people have ever done. Just a bit of pushback, and they start crying.
That was
I called her out.
Yeah, absolutely, that was the point. The reason she put you on the thumbnail was because you had the audacity to call her out. It was
and no one else would. And people don't. And so many people don't. Like when Ben Shapiro was on with Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly deferred and then said, well, I don't know, and demurred, and then later came out and said, Candace never said that. It's like, you know what, man? She can say every which way a million times.
I feel that being so castrated that you're unable to take off the beanie is just insane. I know he does look like that, but oh my God. Wow. Can you guys see this? Yeah, you can. I missed the part where making fun of people's unchangeable physical attributes became the cool thing for anonymous trolls to do. I'm sure you're up for posting a selfie so people can take a run at you, right? Damn.
But never directly say it for plausible deniability.
Yep.
As if we're retarded. It's what a stupid world to live in. So listen, it's not just about her. She comes up because she, I guess there it is. She put me on her thumbnail. She's a piece of trash.
Wow. Well, this wasn't the end.
It is utterly ridiculous.
I love how Tim works himself up into a frenzy to loop himself back around to socialist theory, but he's far too dense to acknowledge it, lol. Premium. God, I mean, thanks for the $5, Dizzle. I mean, it is insane, but don't forget he needed to work it back towards skateboarding. But don't worry, that's not where it ended, and we have more. So this was probably the primer that we should have had.
Where does it leave us? We have 2 weeks left in the year before we go on our Christmas hiatus. You know, I'm not a big fan of any kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing. It is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here that requires me to work all day, every day, Monday to Friday, with some extra work on the weekends, usually meetings. And
why do these people also... why do these people also build these huge fucking media companies that really are not popular enough and fritter away millions of dollars? Like, why do you need this many people to make a show? Why do you need to pay that guy who sits there with dark glasses and just, like, looks at you?
I'm probably going to have a stroke.
No, Timmy, we already lost Chazza this year. We lost Chazza Kirky this year, not you too.
My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great. My resting heart rate is actually around 45. I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate in the past month or two, the holidays, and But we have to have these conversations, and I have been with the people, our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear: the violence will get worse. It is going to escalate. We cannot keep going as status quo. Something has to change.
How? You had millions of dollars. How do you fritter that all away? Like, how? You scam your audiences constantly by, like, selling them shit. How do you run out of money so easily?
It may be that, as we described after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the threat to come and shoot up our studio and our workplace, we asked, at what point do we say,
okay, holy shit, I see how he runs out of money. Holy shit. These views are terrible for spending that much money on a channel. Oh my god. 58k views on shots fired at Timcast IRL studio. The hard work of not reading articles he pulls up. Lol, my dude can't even read. He's a bold 8th grade dropout. Pim Tool. Thanks for the $5. I mean, but still, I get that he's a moron. But simultaneously, like, you have so much money. It's like the Daily Wire.
Hey.
Like, how do you have the Daily Wire, which is the easiest thing to just keep giving out slop and just being like, trans people ruin your life, and then you expand into this stupid major media company that ends up cooking you.
We can't do this anymore.
I give a fuck about Timcast. Killian, you're on your final warning. I give a fuck about Timcast. I love this shit. I love this guy.
The cost of running Timcast IRL Studio and the projects around it exceeds the amount of money it brings in.
How is that possible? You make right-wing slop on the internet. That is so easy to monetize.
That's just that breaking point, isn't it, for any business? If you need $100 to, run your restaurant, but you're only bringing 90, you go out of business. The issue? The cost isn't cameras or lights. The cost is security because of the escalation. It's an artificial cost to doing business that we can't balance. We can't forego security, but we can't sustain it either. So I've had some conversations with our partners, been talking with Rumble.
Holy shit, he does get a lot of views on his lives. My god. Like like this is a lot of views to not be able to balance. How much are you spending?
Maybe a solution. And it's going to be rapid change very quickly. We're going to have some emergency meetings. We've already had emergency meetings for obvious reasons.
Imagine being at the Tim Pool emergency meeting and he takes off his beanie to fire you.
Reasons. And there is a possibility that the 19th is the last episode of Timcast IRL. We are doing everything we can to make sure that's not going to be the case. It's no secret that I've been frustrated and disillusioned with a lot of people in politics, but...
Attack Candace Owens. Money, money, money comes back.
That's no reason to walk away from doing our nightly show with a tremendous success. But the cost is not just money anymore. The cost is the safety of my family, myself, and there are many ideas we're floating around.
How many people have they like forced into situations where they need protection and all of this? He's definitely committing fraud.
It is utterly ridiculous.
To avoid paying taxes. They must be combining personal expenses with business expenses. I can neither confirm nor deny that. Thanks for the 100 ARS. Not sure what that is.
It is utterly ridiculous.
But thank you. I think, is that Saudi? But thank you for the donation. What is ARS? Argentine pesos. Thank you for the pesos. Keep up the hard work, Chris. They have no self-reflectio. Tim is a guy who has a lot of self-reflectio. It's just a pity that he can't... I know you meant reflection. That he can't look at himself in the mirror.
It is utterly ridiculous.
But I just don't get it how you lose all of this money. Inshallah, the 19th will be the last Timcast, lol. I hope not. I love Timcast. I love the damn Timcast. I don't know if people would want to watch the whole Candace thing, but we've got 4 minutes of it that is amazing.
As you power, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors shouldn't give two
It is
no one's
utterly
out for her.
ridiculous.
She's lying about all of
Hey, Base Fishbone, thanks for the membership. Shout out.
this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating...
The Chad Candace versus the Soy Tim.
Beating up the residents who try to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is not a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man, he is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find...
Damn, Candace! Candace! You know what? I think that there's a lot of men on the internet like this, and if you guys are good and I'm not too tired, we got some slop involving the Ethan Klein. Because I counted yesterday, in the last 24 hours, he did, how many stories was it? He did 14 stories about Taylor Lorenz, Ethan Klein did, and he didn't do a single one about Asmongold, apart from one where he bothered to mention Hassan Piker. Like, that's literally it. And he goes like on these rants at Madison. He's like, "You Nazi! Hey, Madison, you Nazi! You made a video about me!" And then he has nothing to say when it comes to Asmongold, the biggest streamer, saying, "Time for neo-Nazi! We're gonna bring him on Twitch. The world is ready for neo-Nazi." But also, by the way, I just think it's funny because, not because of the estrogen thing, but because there are a lot of cowardly men on the internet
And that very...
who would never ever go against someone bigger than them because they fear that they'll get backlash because it'll break up their thing.
Easy. Secondly, Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now. Okay. So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic.
She is a lot funnier than he is. She is a lot funnier than he is. I don't like Candace. I don't agree with the things she said or done, but calling him Timothy Smollett.
Fence sitter, okay? Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens.
But also, one of the amazing things is, like, in terms of people always go on about leftist infighting, the craziest example of leftist versus right-wing infighting is just objectively the infighting, like, in terms of the Stalinist and communist regimes. In Stalinist Russia, you could be killed for having a different interpretation of, you know, communist thought. In comparison to the Nazis, who didn't really have in comparison to general fascists, who rarely had like a unified ideology that was like written out.
In the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, he thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's braving, is jumping on the side of what everyone else is doing. He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying out, because he's under financial pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist to pay him, and they will, okay? They will cut him a check, and I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy. But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you about the Charlie Kirk narrative, I have not focused my content on you, and any time your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man, okay? You are behaving... your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put 100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further 100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids.
That is Candace, that is a crazy allegation. Candace, what are you talking about? I want to know more about that. I mean, she says a lot of things that don't have much basis in reality, I think. But that is a crazy allegation to make against someone, that he loses 100K on a poker game and then goes home and abuses his wife.
And thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids. Get your affairs in order and stop blaming me, because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care about your midterms, okay? I don't care about your next year midterms and whether or not the Republican Party is united, okay? Because I don't want to stand next to people that would cover up Charlie Kirk's assassination. I hope that I have made my point perfectly clear. We'll be back at...
No, he does have a wife. Tim Poole does have a wife. I mean, let's find out from Johnny St. Pete what they were saying.
Not malleable, so you're not of value to them after you tell them that. No?
Indeed, absolutely.
Right.
So there are personalities out there that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw some shade. How about we do that? Brandon Tatum.
Don't do it. Oh, please. Feed.
Also, wasn't Milo Yiannopoulos? Wasn't he like pro pedophile? Wasn't there something where he was like, it's positive if young boys have relationships with old men?
It directly into my brain.
He canceled on us. He once canceled on us because we were actually at Turning Point. And I bumped
names I can't even say on this show.
I bumped in.
And I love all of them.
So
his truck's not paid off.
Okay.
So all that money from Israel and he still hasn't paid his truck off.
So let me tell you the story. And These are the things they say don't say. Because there's no reason to say it. You're going to burn bridges and people are friends. So I bumped into him backstage at Turning Point. And he said something like, hey, man, I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, oh, are you coming on the show? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, awesome, dude. It'll be great to have you. So he canceled right away. And apparently I was told that he was offended that I didn't know he was booked. And I said, I have a booker who does this. I don't know who's booked.
That is a black thing.
Oh, my God. Is this what goes on their shows? That is a black thing. Amazing.
But okay, well, the reason I bring this up is I'm now just kind of throwing shade because I am, and I don't really have that much to say about him other than like that was a bad experience. But the overt
Milo Yiannopoulos is 41 years old. What? Listen to this. He was an unpaid intern for Marjorie Taylor Greene in 2022. And he is 41 years old. Oh, my word.
Israel stuff that he posts.
It's so crazy. It's so counterproductive.
Agreed. And there's a lot of people doing this.
It reminds me, doesn't it remind you of the DeSantis supporters who lost the nomination?
So Milo, let's have a therapy session and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. We've got a handful of right-wing influencers who were caught getting paid to promote India, sugary drinks, and gambling websites.
Elijah, India.
Indeed. And there are people like Brandon Tatum who make the most... When people say 7K, I'm just like, bro, with all due respect, his posts are so over the top, pro-Israel and ineffective.
70. Yeah.
Well, no, he should be like he's being paid less. They're terrible.
He it's kind of, it's funny he came out to support Candace. I didn't see that coming actually. Black thing.
Oh my God. He really likes saying that. But also just being 40 is crazy. 41 in fact.
But I thought it was interesting, an interesting alliance.
To be fair, I don't know if any of them can get as bad of... Have any of you seen the new pro-Israel propagandist who's apparently a PhD student at McGill University? This guy is the funniest fucking propagandist. Like, he's terrible. He is dog shit. Listen to this. Nobody is free until Jews are free. Free from what? He works for the free press because of course he does. But this guy is just like the most amazing propagandist who has emerged out of nowhere. He is so bad.
Or temporary alliance because he's like inverse Candace, like where she is a genius, like media, like mastermind. He is the dumbest. I'm not going to say the word.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
I've never seen anybody like get...
I don't want to get too specific on a person, on an individual.
Excuse me. Some of the behavior that I have.
No. I'm not trying to. I'm saying I want to have a broader idea conversation and not just.
We can move on.
We can complain about people, but basically what I'm seeing is tons of people that are clearly getting paid to promote Israel.
Yep.
It's vomitous.
Yes.
Tons of people who are getting busted doing these cringe campaigns they're not disclosing. Vomitous.
This is also crazy. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich agreed with Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on a budget of 2.35 billion shekels, almost $750 million, for Hasbara campaigns as part of a new 2026 budget. It is like, the 7K thing is like a joke. Like, I hope you guys know that. There was like, even in that article, I do not think random idiot number one who makes like a video that gets a few thousand views is getting... you know, $7,000 for that. I don't think that opinionated girl, for the millions of dog shit videos that she posts, that no one watches, that she's actually getting paid, like, huge amounts of money for. Don't think it's the case. But I do think that, like, some of the bigger influencers are getting paid more. I mean, I just want to see what that opinionated girl is even posting. Oh my God, her profile picture's Charlie Kirk.
People who are chasing the dragon on the anti-Israel stuff, largely irrational, and
oh my god, there's a video which I can't play the sound of. Oh, she is sourceless. By the way, also someone who just full-on doxed her full name on the internet and then complains about it. When an Iranian... Oh, this is sourceless. This is sourceless. Oh. She has been killing it recently. But, like, I don't think she's getting paid 7K for this. Oh, it's because she's moved back into her, stuff. New Jersey school forcing kids to Islam. Wow.
Into joining the cult of Islam, and for some reason the media is staying silent on it, even though the Supreme Court has agreed to pick up the case after lower...
She also speaks really, really strangely. Like, the way she opens and closes her mouth is crazy.
Courts decided that they were going to uphold this indoctrination policy.
She would be the world's most brilliant ventriloquist, I think, personally.
It's absolutely disgusting, and it's a very clear...
Oh, I don't know. People kirkify her in the comments all the time. We'll finish this video and then we'll move on to something else.
Candace is a component of this. The vagaries of her show is demoralizing. And when I look at the field of conservatives and I say, I am putting myself at risk with death threats, with having to hire security for everything I do. My wife can't go to the grocery store with having a security guard with her. Yep. For these people? Now, for the regular people, I'd crawl over broken glass. Yeah. But this space is dominated by wealthy individuals
who don't pay their trucks off.
Indeed, but who they have disdain for the regular person,
and they're pushing things that people don't believe in. George,
Netanyahu is literally puppeting her. Her mouth isn't moving. Hi guys, today black people in America were bad.
You actually were a politician. I know that you don't agree with what Ken...
Such an odd mixture of people. George Santos, Charlie Kirk, not Charlie Kirk, Tim Pool, and Milo Yiannopoulos.
This says, I know that you don't like a lot of her opinions. What's the real, what's the actual cephalogical electoral consequence of this universe we have with people who are maybe untouchable and ungovernable? You would say like going wild.
Yeah.
Over here. And then a highly, tightly, sinisterly, that's not a word, like controlled cabal moving like a shoal of fish over here. What's it going to do if it's not checked? Because my argument is we should have that meltdown now. What happens if we do and what happens if we don't?
So I disagree with you. Oh, I'm back in the conversation now.
No, well, that's because I thought you left.
No.
I was so glad when he came out of the bathroom because I was like, that's another friendship gone. At least I'll get to eat. I'll tweet all these tweets I've got in my notes.
No. So to answer your question, look, you guys are having
this. I thought he'd fully changed his image when I saw this recently. I really am enamored by this video of Milo.
Hey, were you gay? Like, what is gay? Nobody's gay. In almost every case, and certainly in every male case, it is a trauma response. It is not a...
Why is he talking like this? What is this?
Sexuality. It is not part of what you are.
Why is he talking like this?
Or who you are, or a component of your personality. It is a set of behaviors that emerges in people with a number of very easily identifiable common etiologies.
Oh!
A great conversation. I want to first clear this out. I don't hate Candace. I disagree with what she's doing. I didn't say that. And it's important to distinguish that. I think she's, as Tim said, very highly intelligent. I think she's genius status. Genius. But
yeah, I think Candace is genius status.
On your question is very simple. I mean, we need the rogues of the world in politics. They are there is a strategicness to having people, outliers like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We both in that category.
Like myself, Matt Gaetz, when he was there. There is a benefit to them because they disrupt the school of fish that you, the analogy you use, right? So I look at it in a two-pronged situation. I think Candace hurts everyone. Candace puts everyone, hear me out, people like Candace. People like Candace who are doing what Candace is doing on an election year that is absolutely vital to, you know.
Candace is, yes, the Lenin of our times, I think. She is a genius.
Oh, the control of government. Hold on, Milo.
We heard that every year.
Milo,
like
no. I'm not saying this is the most important campaign election because it's bullshit, right? I'm not going to sit here
I say it because
to respect to you, Tim. We hear that every 2 years.
It doesn't matter that much.
My point is, what she's doing is fracturing the base in a time where it's very sensitive because
is
what
she
happens
fracturing the base or is she fracturing it or
fracturing
is she taking it?
She's fractured the base because we're having an example here. I consider myself to be part of the base. I know you do too. You're on her side. I'm not. This and Tim too, and like you're in a room. I don't know where everybody stands,
You're a
but
former congressman. You can't call yourself part of the vote.
She's absolutely fracturing the base.
She is.
This is
definitely
this
not
is
helping
principally
anything.
my issue with it.
Yeah, we
when,
should be
when,
talking
when I'm
about
bumping into
tech.
people,
Like
and
you,
the
right now.
conversation is no longer around the issues that Americans care about. Regular people are no longer how we are going to win and make this country better, but they're talking about the dumbest shit in the world. Like I get some guy being like,
It is
"What
not-
about the Bush in front of Charlie?" And
It's
the, and,
not
and
dumb, and the reason it's not dumb is that this is now occupying the place that Trump made with the Epstein bull BS, right? Trump made this void with Epstein. This void, the need for a grand...
Max Blumenthal, Matt Gaetz. Why? Oh, I think I may have...
unifying theory that explains all the mysteries of the political universe, that explains the sinister nature of our lived reality. They say a theory that explains that. Trump trashed it. Instead,
I disagree.
Instead,
no, I agree with.
It is amazing watching these people tear apart the base. Would never endorse the Democrats. Hassan Piker told me he would. Me, Lenin would. Candace won. Lenin zero. Yet another Candace win. Mm-hmm.
That
you agree with that? I disagree.
The Epstein thing was a massive blunder.
By shoving Epstein out the way, he created a space for the...
Okay, this is really boring. These lot are boring. I want more Candace, but I don't think we're doing more Candace right now. I just want to see if there's...
Suggesting that the...
I also really don't want to watch Matt Gaetz because Matt Gaetz is a... Matt Gaetz is like, allegedly was basically like getting girls to have sex with him by paying for braces for them, and that's fucked. And like amongst many other things.
What percentage of the
Oh, wait, he did produce one thing, though, that is worth watching.
F-35 are fully mission capable today? So, that's a great
This guy is pissed out of his mind, or he seems to be.
question, Matt, and I appreciate you getting after it, because not enough. Not enough. It is the most capable fighter that we have right now.
When it flies.
When it flies, you're right. It is the most capable fighter. What we have right now, and you saw just last month in the acquisition speech, is a department and leadership that's willing to get after it, to challenge industry to produce better. There are plenty of surface-to-air missile systems that the Iranians have. We know that. We know.
Did they shoot any of them?
No, they didn't, because we were so successful. And that platform, the F-35, is an amazing platform that can go after these systems. It is the most capable platform we have, Matt. And what we're doing right now is we have a plan to get to 80% mission capable rates by 2030. The Deputy Secretary of War and Mike Duffy, the Undersecretary for Acquisitions and Sustainment, is meeting with Lockheed Martin almost weekly. Under this administration, under President...
I like this guy. I like him being pissed up.
Trump's administration, they are being held to task. The previous administration, it was a joke.
That is amazing.
What percentage of the
he's wait. Who is that guy? Hold on, I'll get his name up. Pete Hegseth's acting chief of staff, Ricky Burrier, talking to Matt Gaetz. Why are they giving these stupid interviews? But just like the meeting of minds there is truly unbelievable. Matt Gaetz, Tim Pool, and Milo Yiannopoulos. Didn't mean to delete your message. Okay. I was wondering why you deleted it. I was like, what? Dude saying pissed up is so funny. Yeah, pissed up is a funny term. Also, I want to find like a Tim Pool Russia thing to finish off because I don't really remember the full story.
Secretary just took a question from the right-wing.
But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
Okay, this is just playing the Russian national anthem. I thought that was more of that, more of the actual stuff that had to do with that. Where is the thing of like of his actual funding by Russia? It seems like Destiny was someone who talked about that a lot, but I'm not watching that. The Department of Justice apparently says it, so we're going to take it at that. But yeah, don't forget to like the stream. 100% don't be forgetting to like the damn stream. Right, what were we going to cover next? So, I mean, we'll do the hunger strikers, of course, but... oh shit! Some Afghan people were arrested for Some Afghan people were arrested for dressing up like the Peaky Blinders. Have any of you seen this? I don't think I can play the video because it has Peaky Blinders music on. I will say I don't like the Peaky Blinders. I did like the tweet where it was like they got arrested for cringe. No, there's not a lot of coverage about the Palestine Action hunger strikers. But yeah, these guys got arrested for dressing up as the Peaky Blinders. The Afghan people love it. Why is that illegal? Because it's something to do with modesty. Here's an explanation from this. I think Bilal Sarwari is Afghan. In Afghanistan, even fashion has consequences. This week, 4 young men from Herat were arrested by the Taliban for the unforgivable crime of dressing up like Thomas Shelby. It is an unforgivable crime. From the Peaky Blinders. No weapons, no gang warfare, only flat coat caps and long coats, proving far too threatening for the Ministry of Virtue of the Taliban. For a few weeks, these Herati Shelbys brought harmless excitement to the city. People took selfies with them, children admired them, and for a brief moment, the historic city of Herat looked like a place where youth could express themselves without fear. That illusion did not last long. But yeah, they didn't get arrested in the UK, surprisingly. In Keir Starmer's Britain, you may get arrested for that, but they didn't get arrested for it today. That was an interesting story. Oh, I meant to watch this at the start, but there are some truly amazing Trump clips.
Minors, do we love minors? I love minors. For minors, do we love minors? I love minors. For
Who let him say that? Who let him say I love minors? Who allowed him to do that? And no, I will do probably some Ethan Klein related stuff, but I'll do that later on. There was also some less sort of comical bits. There was this insane rant again about Ilhan Omar.
I think that's a great, like Somalia. Welcome. Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time.
It's also really funny that Trump is constantly going on about, Ilhan Omar and her brother. When didn't Trump say that he'd marry his daughter?
I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order.
Like, it's so ironic hearing him say this. Donald Trump to Howard Stern. It's okay to call my daughter a piece of ass. Just so odd.
To get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
This is just, at a certain point, you've got to realize that this is just like a Nazi rally. He said he would date his daughter. Thank you. Yeah. He said he'd be dating his daughter. Sorry. Yeah, I got that wrong. He wouldn't marry her, just date her. Trump could marry his daughter and these people would just be, like, still chanting this. Like, look at this guy in the back. This guy, people kept pointing him out. He was, like, inflamed. He was, like, he was genuinely loving what was going on here. But, like, yeah, I think this was just, like, look at this part where they were chanting 4 more years.
Well, you know what? We have...
Like, the stuff going on with him last night and the stuff going on at his rallies, the level of racism that these people are enjoying is the most troubling thing right now. And the funny thing is like, so many people who constantly spoke out about Trump only did it when there was a chance that the Democrats wouldn't get elected. Now that Trump has actually been elected, they don't give a shit.
You know, and I said it the other day, and a lot of people misinterpreted. They say, oh, he doesn't realize price.
Oh my God, he is wearing a Persians for Trump. Man Iranianam, ve hamchanin man Donald Trump kheli dost daram. Oh.
Prices are coming down very substantially, but they have a new word. You know, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability. So they look at the camera and they say, this election is all about affordability. Now, they never talk about it. They never talk. Thank you very much. They say I'm not allowed to run. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but that's okay. He said 4 more years. You see the new hat? We have 4 more years. 2028. We have all sorts of...
This guy is off his rocker.
Well,
do you think he's gonna? Do you guys think he's gonna do it?
You know what? We have 3 years and 2 months to go, and you know what that is in Trump time? 3 years and 2 months is called eternity. We have a long.
He was genuinely on a madness last night.
And we had a meeting, and I say, why is it we...
Like, listen to this.
And we had a meeting, and I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
It's just like, I genuinely feel like the people who are still so hopped up talking about, like, anti-Semitism constantly, like, yeah, talk about anti-Semitism and mention the troubling rise around Nick Fuentes and stuff. But, like, simultaneously, right, this is a guy, like Donald Trump, regularly acknowledges like the whole anti-Israel stuff as being the most evil anti-Semitism in the world. The idea that that is what you need to be policing online is truly unbelievable. We did get some other interesting quotes, such as this.
Right now we have the highest enrollment we've ever had, the greatest recruitment days we've ever had in the military. It's amazing.
And yeah, I think he could have just said white. It's very obvious what he wants.
So it's November 5th, and it's also, again, it's a thing called tariffs. And I told you, I was about to say that, you know, because I love the weave. The weave. You know what the weave is? You go here, bing, 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 bing. You always have to get back to the right location.
But I think I also made this point clear. One of my problems, and this is especially expressed through Keir Starmer, is a lack of radical left-wing change is just paving the way for this kind of stuff to keep on going. Like this kind of stuff to keep on going, and people worse than Donald Trump getting elected, you know? Like, it doesn't end here. It doesn't end here. He'll be difficult to replace, don't get me wrong. But fuck me, like, this is not ending here. You can't just keep kicking the can down the road. Make radical change or very bad things will keep on happening. It's gonna happen in the United Kingdom. Just saying, oh, no, if the Tories get in, you'll all be poor, you'll all have bad foreign policy and all of this stuff. The UK government have done nothing about Palestine. They have taken no serious changes. Oh, they recognize Palestine while still maintaining Israel as a major ally.
But otherwise, they'll criticize you for straying from the speech. By the way, if I read what's on the teleprompter, you'd all be falling asleep right now. But it's true, 1 year ago, and during periods of time, I'd say my favorite word is the word tariff. I love it more than any other word in the dictionary. And the fake news said, it's terrible. What about God? What about family? What about religion? What about your sons, your daughters? What about how terrible that's just... So I moved it back to 5th. I have it to 5th, and now I'm in no trouble with the fake news.
He did have one. He did have one really interesting piece.
We need the one thing you need steel. You know, you can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. That's under the China policy. You know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need 1 or 2. You know, they don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need $37. So
Donald Trump comes out against mass consumerism. He's actually done this multiple times, and it's kind of interesting because is this not like a rhetoric that leftist politicians should be way more invested in? Going, hey, you don't actually need all this mass-produced crap, you know? I mean, sadly, it's part of this ridiculous tariff policy, but I feel like there's some merit to what he's saying, but, you know, I don't think it really matters at all. But he's also just really off his rocker. What's he talking about 37 pencils in China?
But China has very few wind farms. You know why? Because they're smart. You know what they do have? A lot of coal. They love coal. So that's okay. But we have clean, beautiful coal, and we brought it back into vogue. We have nuclear, we have oil.
This guy could literally say anything, and these people would just be appeased. Like, what are you smiling at here about coal? The $1 policy, the one pencil policy, the 1-2 pencil. What if you break the pencil? What if you chew the end and it shatters, you know?
And gas.
I survived statutory rape to become an adult and now have a rapist on the ballot 3 times. Well, you know, he's someone who's, what is it, the Gene, Trump Gene, where it's like, Gene Carroll case, where a court found him, liable for sexual assault?
We have sort of everything. We don't approve windmills. We don't approve it. I'm sorry. We don't like things that kill all our birds. And that every time you put one up, only the guy that owns it makes a lot of money. Those guys, what a joke. And they are ugly. You're right, sir. But Democrats...
Like, a jury concluded that Trump assaulted E. Jean Carroll in a dressing room. And we all know the grab her by the pussy quote.
Talking about affordability is like Bonnie and Clyde preaching about public safety. And they are really truly the enemy of the working class when they do it, because we want to have made in China.
Such an odd mix of people. I feel like watching Trump rallies is actually just such an interesting phenomenon. All of this stuff going on here. E. Jean Carroll, yeah. All these people gotta go. Yeah, I'd much. It's like kind of this thing when people like you see far right thugs roaming around the UK. If I'm at like a pub and you see just a huge amount of far right thugs, it's not like a place where you're gonna feel very comfortable, is it? Like, at all. Like, it's just not something that you're going to feel comfortable with.
The matter of what Nick Fuentes...
Oh, wait, I want to watch... I want to watch this. NPR grills... Who is this woman? I feel like I know her.
For granted as part of this conversation that people have a right to say what they want to say.
Yes.
There is then the matter of what Nick Fuentes and some other people have said. Fuentes, this is a quote from a video in an interview with Alex Jones. Jewish elite gangsters that run our country. And in the Tucker Carlson interview, he talks about how he feels that Jews are extremely organized across borders and more loyal to Israel.
Like, I cannot reiterate how much of, like, a drive I've been or how obsessed I've been with this over the last few days. Like, objectively, we have seen this campaign launched by a multitude of different organizations, Hen Mazig and stuff, talking about, you know, talking about Hassan, trying to get him off Twitch, trying to get him banned, banning Frogan for the Sabra Hummus tier list. Like, I'm sorry, I haven't even heard some of these quotes.
Into their home country.
Like, of course, because I'm not regularly watching the guy, because I know that, you know, someone who denies the Holocaust and has really only altered that because that is a vestige that is still unacceptable and will push people away. But the things that he's getting up to...
countries, which is a long-time anti-Semitic kind of idea. When we get down to the substance of what Nick Fuentes says, do you agree with it?
You know, I don't agree with Nick Fuentes on everything. I don't agree with anybody on everything.
It is utterly ridiculous.
I think that what, especially older generations, need to learn about Nick Fuentes is that he
is slurring and lisping his speech more often. Thank you for the $2. Blue Baron. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, getting him ready for one of these requires a lot of injections. Brett
says it himself, he's an edgelord. He says things that are intentionally inflammatory. He knows that a lot of people are not going to agree with him. He knows that it is incredibly inflammatory. And honestly, I don't.
But, like, materially, I'm sorry. Nick Fuentes, very bad guy. Very, very, very bad character. And definitely a threat to Jewish people. But, like, let's also be frank here. Donald Trump is calling Somalis human trash. And, like, inciting against them constantly. And having crews of people around him go, send them back. And inciting against Ilhan Omar. And I don't agree with everything is so awesome, yeah. You don't see, like, leftists being like, I don't agree with everything that this Zionist says, but I like them. The only people who do that are liberal fucking Zionists.
Don't pay much attention to it.
Do you think that Jewish gangsters are controlling the country?
No, not really. I am concerned about the
not really
impact of Israel in our country. I think that a lot of young people are. And I'm concerned about it in the way of, you know, young people's biggest concern right now on both sides of the aisle is the economy. We are concerned about being able to buy homes. We are concerned about affordability. And so when we see the news, when we see how much money is being sent overseas to Ukraine, to Israel, whatever it may be, my generation is concerned. We are upset. It's not because of
So she's like some right winger. I mean, once again, how do you save this? I don't think that the traditional right has any way of going through this.
Anti-Semitism, it is not because we, you know, dislike people because of their race or their beliefs or their creed. It is simply like, this is what we're focusing on. Like, at the end of the day, I think I and so much of my generation is just tired of it. Like, I want to focus on American issues. And so when we spend all day talking and bickering about, you know, foreign affairs and where all the money is going, it's
she's a former Daily Wire host. Oh, no. Imagine the day where you get fired from the Daily Wire. If you thought being fired from the Tim's Cast thing, oh, that must be tough. But being fired from the Daily Wire, oh, Madon.
Like, I want to get back to how are we going to make life affordable for my generation? And if you're going to be focusing...
She does look so much like Ben Shapiro.
...on what's going on overseas and making that your big priority... like, I honestly, to be totally transparent, and I think most of my generation would agree, I don't care. And so as a result, I don't pay much attention to it. I direct my attention to American issues, to positive things. I amplify voices that I believe are good and truthful and wholesome. And that is what I focus on.
Imagine going from like Daily Wire working under Ben Shapiro where you're not allowed to criticize Israel. Oh, she left. She wasn't fired. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. This is the final Trump quote that I'll listen to.
I think transgender for all is a great, great thing for the Democrats to be talking about. Transgender for every member in your family. If they're not feeling well that night, let's just change their sex.
That is an outrageous comment. If that's how transgender works, in my understanding, though, if you don't feel well tonight, but yeah, truly, yeah, I don't think that that's a woman moment. Like, please, no misogyny.
Now let's.
But if you're not feeling well, transgender that evening, who has not felt well and then been subjected to transgender that evening?
Not talk about it. Let them go and let them fight to get these things. I think open borders are great. You know, where prisons are emptied into our country, right? Where people from all over the world being dumped into our country. The people that.
Yeah, I've been a little tired since the debate with Lonabox, and I've not been feeling my A game, especially because I've been to the gym 4 days in a row, which I hate doing, because I got to get a haircut tomorrow, and I wasn't feeling well, and Keir Starmer transed me. He gave me the pills. So we got some actual good news here, some exciting news, and by the way, this is the best outcome, in my opinion. I wanted Israel to be banned, but what is happening right now is unprecedented. Israel being in a competition, being in the Eurovision Song Contest. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm actually going to record this for maybe like a little video. Israel being in the European Song Contest is better because not only is it creating the issue of protest, it is now tearing apart the slop. The slop that people are getting is being removed. 5 major countries, well, a few major, I guess Iceland, well, Iceland's not like a major country, but it's still part of Eurovision, is gone. Like, people are having their slop taken away. The slop is going, and they're not getting it back. And Israel is taking it away from them. Apolitical people are going to be like, where are the Netherlands? Where's Joost Klein? Where is Joost Klein? And he's gone. He's not there. Because of Israel. They're not getting their slop. Iceland has joined Spain, Ireland, Slovenia, and the Netherlands. So what? People who like Eurovision don't get to watch them, and they now just have to watch Israel do a song that's like, "May your village burn," or "We are the world's biggest victim by evil Palestinians. Support us." Like, what? Like, who's gonna watch this? Like, who's going to watch this? There's going to be no one left. It's literally just going to be Israel competing on their own. And there will still be people who watch it. And they'll manipulate the fucking vote so Israel just keeps winning. But it's like, no one is watching this. And it is, you're right. It's a farcical outcome. It is a ridiculous outcome. And this is the worst thing, because hopefully it sets a precedent of more people just being like, I don't want anything to do with Israel. And the thing that these people had banked on was actually, and what I'm talking about here is like politicians, organizers, and all of these things was animosity against Israel dissipating to the point where a country could force whoever was competing in the international competition to still do it. But they can't do it. They could never do it because people hate Israel. And I don't think that all of these Israel supporters realize this. And I hope you realize, like, sure, like, there is no way in terms of October the 7th that Hamas, Sinwar, or any of them thought that the level of violence would be allowed to be inflicted on Gaza. However, what I will say is that they also had this logic of Israel will never have been more isolated. It will never be more in trouble. And they were fucking right. Like, who could have imagined? Like, people wanted it, but who could have imagined a reality where multiple major countries in Europe just boycott a competition after there's a ceasefire. How do you fix this? How does Israel fix this? What, by spending nearly $1 billion on Hasbara to send over some of the most repugnant and unappealing people in the world? Like, what's the answer? Like, what is the answer? Send over that opinionated girl to look like a fucking ventriloquist going, actually, as a Christian who loves Trump, Israel is really good. Like, Israel is really good. And everyone who doesn't like them is anti-Semitic. You're not bringing back that 50% of Republicans who are now against Israel, the under 50s. You're not bringing back the fucking, like, Democrat left-wing voters. So what's going to happen at the next election? And because I don't think people are going to fall, and this is especially the thing, I don't think people are now going to fall for the kind of thing of just like, oh, we're going to do two-state, guys, and we're going to sanction some settlers and tell Israel, no, 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 no. They're going to want real, meaningful change on this topic. And they're not going to get it from, like, the Democrats. Real voice reveal. Yeah. Check your bank account. You just made 7K. Yeah. The Israeli government mistook me. I just got a secret donation saying 7K. Well done, that opinionated girl. But yeah, so, I mean, already, it's crazy that they held it together. The Icelandic National Broadcasting Service, RÚV, has decided not to participate in Eurovision Song Contest in Vienna, Austria, next year. A statement after an RÚV board meeting on Wednesday. I am cooked, though. Every year I always make a fucking video saying, like, why is Israel in Eurovision? And TikTok gives me £15 for it, which I need, by the way. I need that £15. And fucking Iceland and fucking Ireland, the Irish are fucking the British yet again. They did mean things to Margaret Thatcher, and now they're taking away my video about Eurovision. But, like, yeah, listening to, like, British fucking media pundits talk about Eurovision.
Don't think.
Like, listen to this. This is how they tried to hide behind it.
Banning Israel from the Eurovision Song Contest is going to help in Gaza or get the Israeli government to lift their blockade. You know, frankly, I would rather see, now we've recognised Palestine, an invitation to Palestine to come and join. That's the way to bring people together.
Like, no one is buying this. And this is the thing that I keep trying to reiterate, and what has made, like, someone like Ethan Klein or a liberal Zionist life so fucking hard, right, is because now people aren't just, like, okay with, like, base level, you know, platitudes and condemnations of, like, everyone needs to come together and Palestinians and Israelis need peace. They're like, yeah, fuck Israel. It's just, like, a straight up fuck you to Israel. And that is not going anywhere. And I hope that all of these people realize it. Like, how is this going to address people's problems? Like, we've got a ceasefire and we've recognized Palestine, so yeah.
There is a ceasefire in Gaza, and I think therefore this action is the wrong thing.
And also just giving, like, this little fucking cry thing about, like, I think that this is actually the wrong thing. But, like, just, and that being the best you get out of people. Like a politician. Like, but don't worry, Elon Levy has given us the actual reason. The real reason Spain is trying to exclude Israel from Eurovision. Spain came third, Israel came first in 2017. Wow. Amazing. Wow. This is the actual reason. And this is the address from, like, one of Israel's most competent Hasbarists. And that's saying something, you know, Elon Levy. He's, like, up there as one of the most competent Israeli Hasbarists.
I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary.
I wonder if Keir Starmer commented on it. I don't think that that's the right decision to ban Israel from Eurovision. I don't think that that's the right decision. I think that we should give them a good chance to be kind. But, like, what do these people think is going to happen? Like, how do you think that this is fixed? Hold on, I want to see if I've got anything saved about this, because there were definitely some good videos a few months ago.
Eurovision more than Eurovision more than I do, in that I've been watching Eurovision since the 1960s, and I'm the grand old age of 75 at the moment, so that's a lot of Eurovisions. So I'm just as unhappy about Ireland not taking part as anybody else, but I think it's a small sacrifice for us to pay when you consider what has happened to 70,000 people in Gaza over the last 2 or 3 years. You know, I think obviously this has taken the imagination of the public, both here in Ireland and in Europe, and I'm talking to you now. I wouldn't be talking to you about...
Apparently, as well, sorry to interrupt this video, but it's also apparently Portugal that's now in doubt as well of being in Eurovision.
Gaza, because at this point in time we're not hearing an awful lot from Gaza, because seemingly foreign journalists have not been allowed in, so we don't know how the so-called ceasefire is working, or how what is actually happening in there at the moment.
Not seemingly, you're correct. Foreign journalists are not allowed into Gaza. We're prevented from doing so by Israel. Of course, Israel itself would point to the hundreds of people who died on October the 7th.
Oh! 2 years later, bro. 2 years later. It's like, this is the world that we live in. Worship at the temple of Charlie Kirk and condemning his assassination enough for a man who's espoused neo-Nazi rhetoric about prowling blacks, and also condemn October the 7th after 2 years after Israel's mass slaughter of Palestinians and their mass ethnic cleansing displacement regime that existed before.
As well.
Yes, and I totally agree that was a dreadful situation. I'm not condoning what Hamas did in any way whatsoever.
No, didn't think you were at all, but pointing that situation.
Well, then why does it need to be mentioned? Why does it need to be mentioned?
Now, obviously.
Like, Israel, Eurovision is cooked by Israel. I'm sorry, it's just like straight up. Eurovision is done. Let's listen to some right-wing hacks talk about their opinions about this.
Oh, that awful, disgusting dystopian jamboree, the Eurovision Song Contest. I can't watch it anymore. I just can't. I mean, the music...
Who watches this? Like, let's be frank here. Who is watching this shit?
It's terrible. The politics in it are just... But anyway. Israel wants to be in it, though. I don't know why, but they do. That is for them to wish. And it turns out they're going to be allowed to be in it. It's because organisers were meeting in Switzerland to decide whether Israel could participate in next year's competition. There were mounting protests, claims of vote interference. That is after Yuval Raphael.
Someone had a tweet, which is in Finnish, and they're talking about... They're talking about the fact that, like, I do think it is worth noting, the man in control of Israel's prisons is wandering around with a golden noose on him to advocate for the extermination of Palestinians. And wait, actually, before we get into this, just to I think to add weight to that, let's have a conversation of, let's hear what this guy was saying earlier today. Sorry, it's going quickly, but just listen to this. The doctor is saying it's completely forbidden to Israeli doctors. Good thing you are not the one deciding. Like, this guy is just like, let's cook up ways to assassinate people. Like, let's hang them.
הוא מציע בגרדום, עד שהוא מציע באמת. פשוט לא נכון, זה או בירי או בגרדום, ואז לא צריך חופים. זה מה שאתה מציע. תודה רבה. שוב, לשיטתך, אם אין לנו את הרופאים, ואני חושב שכן יש רופאים, יהיו הרבה רופאים, אתה יודע מה? אני מכיר רופאים שהתנדבו לעשות את זה גם. אגב, שתדע, יושב ראש, אחת השאלות ששואלים אותי, אחרי דרך לאנשים ברחוב,
You know what? I don't even think Ben-Gvir is lying here, talking about how people in the street want to come up to him and tell him about how they want to behead what they deem terrorists. They've already tortured to death 100+ people. And people want you to believe that this is like a normal moral country still. It's not working. It is not going to change anything. Like, I'm sorry, you are not, the cat is not going back in the bag. Pandora's box won't close. Is the noose a reference to the Ramallah lynching? Oh God, everything, all the time I see references to the Ramallah lynching when Billie Eilish wears a handpin.
המסר למעשה, תוציאו אותם בירי. בסדר, אני רושם לעצמי את זה, כדי שנזכור.
It's so amazing that that we hear this. So he's talking to the representative of the Israeli Medical Association, which, you know, it's pretty hard to reach a point where you're upsetting the people who've been kind of fine with mass torture for the last 2 years and actually the decades that came before that. I think Israel was the only country in the world with legalized torture for a certain period. But I mean, it does have categorically... Oh shit, wait, this is an amnesty statement. Israel is the only country in the world known to have effectively legalized torture by officially allowing such methods. We are hoping for a clear ruling by the High Court on the use of such interrogation techniques. By the way, also, there's a great quote in Tom Segev's book, The Seventh Million, where it's someone talking to another Israeli, and they're like, I hear of this technique where they torture people with hot and cold showers. That reminds me of something. And this was in the 1980s.
Became 14th in the vote by national juries for New Day Will Rise, but after the public vote, she finished second. And various countries such as Belgium, Finland and Sweden saying they'd consider a boycott alongside Ireland, Spain, Slovenia and the Netherlands. Meanwhile, my understanding is it was countries such as France and Germany saying, don't you start doing this. Now, this is... Are you ready for a laugh? Before the meeting, Martin Green, the Eurovision director, said neutrality of the event was of paramount importance so that the contest remained a neutral space and must not be instrumentalised. Mate, come on. It's literally been the most politicised event ever. You know, when it comes to countries voting for their neighbours, voting on behalf of foreign policy, and if it isn't political in that sense, it's basically the Stonewall Olympics. Let's speak now to the brilliant Jake Wallace-Simon. Jake, always great having you on the programme. I mean, look.
This guy is allegedly like one of the strongest fighters in the UK against anti-Semitism. If you're not familiar with him, he's just an odious pro-Israel freak who blocked me on X over 2 years ago, which I'm still reeling from.
Regardless of what I think about participation in Eurovision, Israel wants to take part, and it now can take part. Should we take that as good news?
That's got to be good news. I'd be interested to read, firstly, how that happened, how the seemingly overwhelming number of countries vowing to boycott the competition if Israel was included, how that was overturned. But also, my eyes are on Spain, Ireland, Slovenia and the Netherlands to see if they're going to make good on their promise not to participate if...
Yeah, fuck you and your stupid country that you worship, the genocidal entity that is Israel. The fact that you sit there and go, I'm actually so happy and let's see whether these countries make good on it. Enjoy your competition. Enjoy your lack of legitimacy. You ain't fixing it with your cries and cries of going, actually everything is a result of anti-Semitism. Because it is not working on people anymore. It's not working to combat anti-Semitism at all, and nor will it ever. Because people know that you are not a serious person. That the reason people don't like Israel and people like you is because you are defenders of Israel.
If Israel was invited. To be honest, I wouldn't be shedding any tears if they didn't take part.
Do you know what? We're having some sort of strange coincidence going on here, because you were coming on the programme anyway, just as it was announced that Israel was going to be allowed to compete. And just as you said, I want to know if those countries make good on their promises of boycotts, we actually have some breaking news that Spain definitely is going ahead with their boycott. And I believe, which was the other one, Ryan, darling? It's not on my screen.
Ireland,
Spain and the Netherlands. And Ireland, most likely. They are going to make good of the boycott.
They are going to. So they're not going to participate?
Apparently not. Spain and Netherlands are going to boycott. That much we know. We're expecting Ireland to follow suit. So no, they're not going to participate. They'll save themselves a bob or two.
Well, I have two words for them, good and riddance. I won't be crying to see the back of them, not that I watch Eurovision anyway, but the point is that as idiotic as all this is, as frivolous and sort of fluffy as the Eurovision Song Contest is, it is watched by 160 million people each year.
Jesus Christ. 160 million people denied their slot because of you, Wallace. Wallace, you will be held to account. You will pay for denying the people their slop.
Yeah, it has been going for 70 years, and the way in which it's become this hostile environment for Israelis and for Jews really represents what Jews are going through in their daily life in Britain and elsewhere across the West. I mean, just today, this morning, I met a British man who lost his son on October the 7th, who said that he doesn't...
Must condemn October the 7th, must mention October the 7th.
Feel comfortable in Britain, and when he goes to Israel he feels they can breathe a sigh of relief. That's going to a place that's been at war for...
It's because it's... and by the way, the reason you feel that you can breathe a sigh of relief in Israel is because you can be openly genocidal there without any reprisal or any expectation of people not wanting to reciprocate that.
2 years. And
there is only such a small swathe of Israelis who are not just, like, supportive of the Israeli government. As much as people may not like plus 972... There was a clip, a comment not long ago from it that was basically just the people who carried out the vast majority of the mass killing in Gaza were anti-Netanyahu secular leftists, the pilots.
Feels happier and freer there than he does in Britain, even though his son was killed in Israel on October the 7th. I also met a student at a British university.
And that is a crazy position to be in, that a state premised on the safety of Jewish people would apparently be a safer place for Jewish people, even though 1,000 people were massacred there not long ago as a result of Israeli policies, or were killed there.
University in London, who was born in Israel, studying here, and he said that most of his Israeli student friends pretend they were born in Italy or Spain or Malta for fear of discrimination, because in his experience, during Freshers' Week...
This woman is very weird.
He met a girl at a party, said he was born in Israel, and she slapped him round the face. That's what Jewish people and Israelis are facing in Britain.
There is no way that she slapped him round the face for that. Perhaps she slapped him around the face for the things he then proceeded to say about Israel. I might well believe that. But just straight up slapped him.
In Britain, 3/4 of people said that Britain shouldn't partake in Eurovision if Israel was included. You talked earlier about how it's the left-wing countries that have been threatening to boycott and the right-wing sound countries have been supporting Israel's participation. Well, where does Britain lie? Britain's been conspicuously silent.
Why is she just looking off?
On this, but the great British public supposedly were as Israelophobic as those in Spain and Ireland.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, actually, because by and large, the ones who are the noisiest about this seem to have socialist leaders, but not all of them. I mean, Netherlands I don't put into that bracket. But what is interesting, and I think we know what is at the heart of all of this, is because, and I'm going to use this as an example, during last year's competition in the Swedish city of Malmo, over 30% Muslim now. It might even be more.
Like, I love this shit. Just these people are like talking about how Jewish people are like the biggest victims. Like, we really need to talk about that. Donald Trump is simultaneously speaking hugely negatively about Muslims constantly. And these people who complain constantly about they complain constantly about the targeting of Jewish people, just spew out something like that. 30% Muslim, by the way.
Than that, thousands of people took to the streets in protest of Israel's participation. I think most of these countries who say we're going to boycott are actually scared of the growing movement of people, you know, augmented by these pro-Palestine rallies, who will actually tear the country apart if they don't do something in response to Israel's participation.
Do you know this guy wrote a book called Israelophobia on the 7th of September 2023? It was published. I'm not saying there's a coincidence there, but...
Yeah, I'm afraid that the hard truth is that this Middle Eastern anti-Semitism has been imported en masse into Europe with the uncontrolled immigration that we've seen over recent decades, and now we are reaping the bitter fruits of that.
Listen to this man. Like, just straight up listen to this man.
I mean, last year was appalling. Yuval Raphael, the Israeli contestant, was herself a survivor of October the 7th. She had to put up with boos, with jeers. Somebody tried to storm the stage and throw paint over her during her performance. The year before that, Eden Golan gave a heartbreaking performance filled with boos and jeers.
No one thinks that apart from people like you who support Israel. By the way, also, Raphael served as a checkpoint combat soldier in the Jerusalem area. So she probably just illegally occupied Palestinian land and enforced that occupation. She should have paint thrown over her. She's a bloody symbol of the violent Israeli settler colonial project.
Disturbing part of all of that was that I saw footage of her rehearsing for the performance with members of her own team booing and jeering and throwing things so that she could get used to dealing with it. And then when she eventually did quite well in the competition and returned back to Israel, there was footage of her breaking down in tears as she was greeted by her family at...
Because there it's okay to be a genocidal maniac.
Israel's Tel Aviv airport. So this is the sort of thing that Israelis and Jews have got to put up with.
Yeah, Europe is known for not being anti-Semitic.
With not just in Eurovision, not just in universities, in Britain and elsewhere, but throughout society. And the good, modest, right-thinking, silent majority of Britons and everywhere and across the West.
By the way, this silent majority doesn't exist because this is just also people being forced down this slop from like media organizations about how everyone loves Israel.
Have got to stand up and find their...
He's also got Mouse behind him, and didn't like the author of Mouse come out and like do a Gaza cartoon that wasn't that good, but...
Stand up for against this sort of thing before it's too late.
I totally agree. Jake, thank you ever so much. Jake Wallace-Simons there.
I mean, she is acting crazy. I don't know what's wrong with her at this point. I just want to watch one more thing on this. RTE, Dubliners react to Eurovision boycott. I think I've been there. Don't know. Maybe Dublin just all looks the same. What is this? Setting the stage for... What was this?
Way their horror and disgust at how Israel are behaving in Gaza. I think everybody is trying to express... I'm happy that they're boycotting it. I think everybody is trying to express in their own way their horror and disgust at how Israel are behaving in Gaza. And I think within their context, that's what RTE can do. Other people are protesting in different ways. You know, everyone is trying to, I suppose, register their disgust. So I'm happy that they're boycotting it, and I hope other countries in Europe will support it.
I think it's very wrong to do that. I really do. Yeah, that's my opinion. And I think they've taken the protests about Palestine way too far all over Europe. It's
unbased Dubliner.
It's just everybody's getting fed up with them. And, you know, I think the governments should do something about that. I think they're very much against Israel, and I think that's wrong. I think it's very wrong to do that.
Well, I do agree with you that there are definitely some faux anti-Semitism statistics, because literally an event I was involved in on campus was counted as an anti-Semitic incident. It's just not true.
Hopefully it will put pressure on the Israeli government if enough countries do boycott the Eurovision and boycott other events, that it will put pressure on the Israeli government to come to an agreement in Gaza and to stop the killing there.
I think it must be done. I think more countries should have boycotted. I think it's embarrassing that they have not. It has been declared a genocide. We have to start acting like what it is. It's unconscionable that you can enjoy some sort of containment when the participating country is committing a genocide. I just can't imagine being okay with it. I think everyone should boycott, whether you're a producer or someone working behind the scenes or on stage, you have to make a stance. It's what everyone says they would have done something in the 1940s. Well,
I support RTE. I think they should have done it last year. And because of what's
You're saying you thought Irish people were based. There are, of course, right-wing Irish people.
going on, it's not just
But it's a very, 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 very small amount that
a
were,
music festival.
that were pro-Israel.
It is war. Israel is committing genocide on the Palestinian people, and we should be boycotting everything, let alone the music thing. So
This lady is very based. But yeah, I mean, once again, Israel is taking away the slop from everyone. Apparently, 17 artists have issued a joint statement citing their withdrawal from the Portuguese national final because of Israel's inclusion of Eurovision 2026, which puts Portugal's inclusion in doubt. We do not condone the violation of human rights, and we resist with culture. Even Ollie Alexander was like not pro-Israel, right? The UK's previous entrant.
A lot of the contestants and myself.
I can't show this, it's BBC. But yeah, I don't know what, like, Israel thinks it's gonna do. They're taking away the slop. You can't even do a pally vigil without admin inspecting, checking for anti-Semitism. Yeah, 100%. And I think that that's one of the things about, like, most people are not concerned about the fact that, like, Trump, most of the people who purport to care about anti-Semitism don't care about when Trump does it. And the only reason that they do care about it is when they can use it to target left-wingers. That's like literally it. That's all they care about. That's all that these people want to use it for. I mean, even look at the level of... This started with Palestine stuff as well, by the way. US could ask foreign tourists for 5-year social media history before entry. You guys are never ever going to see me in the US. Like, not a chance. Like, I don't even think they'll get rid of this if the Democrats win the next election. Oh, no. I agree with you that generally, Irish people would be more pro-Palestine because of the identification with anti-colonial movements, you know, when they had, and to an extent still have one, you know, it's just not as popular as it once was. But, like, still, there's just much more of a shared history there, as opposed to British people whose shared history is generally with the oppressors, you know? Like, I think, like, I'm not really surprised that there are some Irish people who end up being... All I mean is that I think people have these assumptions about certain countries that they're all either pro or anti-something. And, of course, like, generally, on the whole, Irish people aren't pro-Israel, but, yeah. Apparently, the UK Foreign Secretary reiterated that with the ceasefire and the recognition of Palestine, there existed a real chance for a two-state solution. Where? That it wouldn't be right to bring politics into the Eurovision, and that boycotts were diplomatically inappropriate and irresponsible. Boycott the shit out of this country. It's the bare minimum that you can do. To be fair, there is one way that I think Israel should be in Eurovision, and I know some of you are going to be pretty mad that I've said that, but you know that there's like It's this.
We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. We'll fight for the gospel.
We'll honor his name. We are Charlie Kirk. But, like, I don't know where people think this ends up. Like, just, what, are we just gonna have to support Israel forever and just enable them to be participating in competitions and just tear everything apart that people care about? Like, he was kind of, this guy was mentioning, you know, it's a very old song contest with, you know, hundreds of millions of viewers, and Israel takes that away? I don't think people are gonna like that, put frankly. Okay, I think that's the end of the Eurovision segment, so let's start talking about the hunger strikers. Hold on. I want to see if there's a video, because I like using videos to... to start it off. Oh, fucking hell. So, okay, right. I'm gonna have to. There's not actually many videos I can find. But this is like a really, really, really interesting story. It's really important, and I'm sorry I actually haven't covered it. I think I'm even going to make a short video about this after, like a TikTok video. But in case you didn't know, the Filton 24 are basically a group of Palestine Action activists who broke into an Elbit Systems weapon factory in Bristol in the United Kingdom, a place near where, you know, a place near like where I grew up. I've been there quite a lot. I like Bristol. It's an interesting place. It's often seen as quite like, you know, leftist and such, but it also hosts an Elbit Systems weapon, like a weapons factory in the place. And Elbit is the Israeli weapons manufacturing company. But we've already had like, actually, I bet she's posted it on Twitter. We had Zara Sultana talking about this. The fact that this is happening today, that there are, you know, 9 people on hunger strike, and genuinely many of them are at risk of death, is like a really troubling thing. And it's not really being covered in British media.
You know, there are 8 people currently on hunger strike for Palestine in UK prisons. Yesterday, I visited HMP Bronzefield to see Gesser Zahra, a 20-year-old who's now on day 38 of her hunger strike. Her health has seriously deteriorated, yet she shows extraordinary courage and determination. Gesser and 7
It's 8, sorry, not 9.
others are part of the largest coordinated hunger strike since Irish prisoners in 1981. 5 of them have already been hospitalised, and there's been hardly any mainstream media coverage. Many have been held on remand beyond the 6-month legal limit, so they must be granted immediate bail. Their other demands include the right to a fair trial and full respect of their rights whilst in detention, especially access to medical care. And they are also calling for the deprescription of Palestine Action. This is unfolding while a Labour government abolishes jury trials, a cornerstone.
Like, genuinely, people are at risk of death. Like, people are really, really getting towards the point of being at risk of death.
Of our legal system and handpicks judges to oversee judicial review cases like that of Palestine Actions. Our civil liberties are eroded and our right to protest is being undermined. So this is a pivotal moment. Please contact your MP and ask them to speak up for the hunger strikers and their demands. Their lives and our principles of justice are at stake.
Like, it is truly unbelievable that they've been held in prison. And by the way, all of these people are not held on terrorist charges because they were not arrested before Palestine Action was prescribed. Sorry, they weren't arrested after Palestine Action was prescribed. There's a great article about it here by The New Arab, which is generally a pretty good outlet for this kind of stuff, because it's literally nowhere. The story is not really very popular. Not leaving because things got scary and racist, but when you're given a deportation order and leave on yourself. Well, I understand what you're actually talking about there, but also self-deportation in the way that some of these people conceptualize it, in my understanding, is basically making things terrifying for people to the point where they do leave. A pro-Palestine activist has been taken to hospital for a second time amid severe health complications on the 29th day of his hunger strike, as concerns mount over the conditions of the 8 incarcerated activists refusing food. By the way, this was a day ago, so it's the 30th day of their hunger strike. Kamran Ahmed, who has asthma, was again rushed to hospital after he became unable to stand following nearly a month of refusing food. He has been held on remand at HMP Pentonville in England for over a year after his arrest on the 19th of November last year in connection with a Palestine Action protest at an Elbit Systems arms facility in Filton, Bristol, which caused more than £1 million in damage. they're in prison for targeting a foreign-owned weapons factory in our country. You can survive longer on a hunger strike, but it's just like it comes down to luck. But like already, it becomes very dangerous. Ahmed is among one of 8 pro-Palestinian activists on hunger strike, with demands that include immediate bail, the right to a fair trial, the deprescription of Palestine Action, which was designated a terrorist organization in July. This is all like really important stuff. This is entirely political prisoners who are hunger striking so that they are not, like denied basic rights. 5 of the 8 protesters have now been hospitalised, marking the largest coordinated hunger strike in British prisons since Bobby Sands' protest in 1981. The hunger strike is not about death, or Audrey Corno from Prisoners for Palestine said. The reason they're on hunger strike is because they have tried every other way of meeting the demands of this campaign, but have been met with silence and incompetence from the government and the courts. The prescription of Palestine Action is utterly, ridiculous, and the way in which it has had to be enforced is truly insane. Like arresting old people, blind people, wasting so much police time on this crap because their people stood up and protested against a genocidal regime because they actually did something that hurt Israel. That's why the organization was prescribed, and why, in spite of all of the inciting, even from right-wing politicians, by the claims of, pro-Palestine marches are hate marches, when there are, millions and millions of people there, and yet nothing happens. But so much quicker, this is prescribed. The reason it was done is because...
It is utterly ridiculous.
Is because it affected Israel. Search write to them to contact MPs, re-EDM. Thank you for posting that. Is that write to them to contact MPs? Thank you. If anyone wants to write to them and you're from the UK and you want to do that, but yeah. Hunger strikes are a very courageous act, but they are also simultaneously a very, very, very dangerous act. Whether they've tried other ways of having their voices heard, whether that's through prison complaints which have been consistently ignored, whether that's through trying to challenge the prison and the courts through lawyers, Corno adds. Corno explains the conditions of the hunger strikers, the longest being Kesar Zuhra and Amu Gib, who have refused to eat for 37 days, is quite dire, with over 100 medical professionals signing a letter urging attention to the hunger strikers, to the Health and Justice Commissioning Team, NHS England. I just want to reiterate as well, Bobby Sands and all of the people there who were engaged in that hunger strike had very reasonable demands. And Bobby Sands, ultimately stood for a cause of ending British imperialism in his country. More power to him. There's a reason he's a martyr to most people, and the only people who are against him are odious right-wingers. But frankly, Bobby Sands was caught with a revolver. Bobby Sands, was engaged in attempted bombings. These people were not even part of a prescribed terrorist organization. The most serious charge against one of them, which I won't go into a huge thing of, is... Basically, it is alleged, and there is footage of it, but the footage seemingly shows it, but there's also been a lot of questions over the trial. If you really want to go into reading a long piece of people who've been there, I'd recommend this one by Jonathan Cook. I just won't go through it on stream, because as you can see, it's quite a long video, but it talks about how there've been changes, how security guards have had to change their stories, how evidence was kept over to Elbit systems, the things that they also want to know. The things that they want to know here are has Israel had any influence over this? Because it wouldn't surprise me if they did. And another thing that he mentions in here is the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, mentioned links to Iran of Palestine Action. Sorry? They mentioned links to Iran. They didn't investigate them, they didn't explain them fully, but they said apparently Palestine Action may be an Iran-backed organization, and I'll actually show the article of how they got there. But yeah, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know. Is that by Bobby Sands? I never knew that. What? You're telling me now? I never knew that. I didn't actually know that. I know the quote, but I didn't realize it was from Sands. I like the one that's our children's laughter will be their revenge. Will be our revenge. And I think that, ultimately, just, looking at what's going on here is insane. And in no way, as I say, am I saying that, Bobby Sands is like in any way deserved to die, and their demands in many ways were like very well, not in many ways, they were entirely reasonable to demand like decent treatment. And like learning about the story is crazy, and I actually wanted to do a bit more prep for this stream on Bobby Sands' story, but I didn't get the time. But yeah, just listen to this. With over the hunger strike is never safe, but past 35 days, the thiamine levels drop significantly, Corno says. This puts them at a very high risk of brain damage, osteoporosis, and long-term health consequences. Corno described widespread symptoms among the strikers, including weakness, dizziness, shallow breathing, chest tightness, and exhaustion, with some unable to stand. Members of the Filton 24 and the Bryce Norton 5, several of whom have spent more than a year in custody without trial, declared an open-ended hunger strike on October the 20th, saying they have been left with no option but to refuse food to fight for fair treatment. I mean, they are also demanding their release from custody while awaiting trial, having already spent more than 6 months in pre-trial detention. Amid rising alarm, 36 MPs have signed an early day motion calling on the Justice Secretary, David Lammy, to urgently intervene to protect the hunger strikers. These people will all have blood on their hands, and I hope that there is a growing and more significant backlash, and I'm sorry that I haven't reported on this. People have asked me to do it, and it's kind of been like, oh, I've been doing this and that, and, you know, it's kind of like, oh, I haven't had time to look into the story, but it's truly, like, atrocious. Like, I know about the Filton 24 and such, but it is something that I really should have been talking about earlier, and I'm disappointed in that, you know. But yeah, I'm extremely concerned for the well-being. We heard that from, lives are now at immediate risk. Lammy cannot pretend to be ignorant of what is happening, and he will be fully culpable for the consequences of continued inaction, she said. So that's Zara Sultana. These prisoners were arrested for allegedly taking a direct action to stop Israel's genocide. There is no other way to frame this. These people are risking death for decent treatment because they dared to take an action against a genocidal entity, because the 25th biggest arms manufacturer of a foreign country is situated near them and is funding and facilitating and enabling the genocide of tens of thousands of people. It enables these... This is the disconnect as well that I'm sick of, and I think permeates too much in the worldview of Lonerbox and stuff, that there is any kind of reasonable solution coming from anyone. Keir Starmer may sanction a few settlers, he may sanction a few Israeli government ministers, but it is an entire country, it is an entire system that is responsible for it. The Gaza genocide didn't emerge out of nowhere. It is the basic beginning of the Zionist project. Those charged with UVA and UDA association, if anyone doesn't know that what that is, but those are like pro-British paramilitaries, right? Were given freedom of association, family meets, letters, and everything. But those alleged to be IRA were stripped of everything, 100%. 100%. Oh, I don't want to go there. MP Richard Burgeon told The New Arab, they have never been convicted, yet they've been held on remand for many months, and in conditions far harsher than other prisoners face. Their health is deteriorating quickly, so this is desperately urgent. Burgeon, who also voted against prescribing Palestine action, warned of unacceptable reports of negligence, harassment, and degrading treatment inside the prison system. They should not be punished before even facing a court, let alone before being convicted of a crime. At the very least, they should be granted immediate bail while awaiting trial. 100%. Like 100%. And it's nice that there's like some competent politicians like Zara Sultana, but like, yeah, the Canary also, which is another interesting outlet for out of the UK. The Canary had a good tweet on this if you want to see it. The 8 Palestine action-linked prisoners on hunger strike are mounting the most significant challenge to the British state since the 1981 hunger strikes by Republican prisoners in Northern Ireland. Police arrested activists for anti-genocide actions, including alleged raids on weapons manufacturers Elbit and spraying paint on warplanes. By the way, they lied about this as well. They said that... Hold on, I'll find it exactly. It cannot be removed that pro-Israel figures like Luke Akehurst and many others who run an organization called We Believe in Israel have been like lobbying against Palestine action for so long. I really want to see if I can find this. But like calling Palestine action the like, yeah, look at this. So this was back in July when this happened. The British media claimed that Palestine action may have damaged the planes at RAF Bryce Norton beyond repair, potentially costing the UK over £30 million. Flight tracking data now shows the ZZ-338 plane, one of the two targeted by Palestine action, is already back in the air. It was significant that Tommy McKerney, a participant in the 1981 strike, was present at a London meeting to show solidarity with the anti-genocide protesters. Also in attendance was Bernadette Devlin McAlliskey, a leading advocate for prisoner rights 45 years ago. Partly as a result of that work, loyalist paramilitaries shot her 9 times in 1981. Gary Donnelly also spoke at the event. He is one of the Raytheon 9, the precursor to the establishment of Palestine Action. The group is best known for driving out war criminals Raytheon from Derry after occupying their factory and smashing up computers used for illegal activities. But here's Tommy McKerney, who actually participated in that strike. Hunger strike. We were on hunger strike for 53 days. By the final week, I had succumbed to severe malnutrition. I collapsed into a state of semi-consciousness, enduring considerable distress. My eyesight was failing due to the collapse of the optic motor nerve, causing my vision to flicker up and down. My hearing was impaired, and I suffered from intense headaches and sharp pains in my stomach and legs. This intensified until unknowingly I was receiving daily visits from my parents. The medical authorities in the prison believed I was close to death. When the hunger strike finally ended after 53 days, I later learned that doctors had estimated I had only 24 to 48 hours to live. That is how close I believe I became to dying. It took me about 2 months to get back on my feet and several years before my optic motor nerve was fully restored and my eyesight was steady once more. Like, it's just insane, like, that this is happening still in the UK. That, like, political prisoners are being subjected to such ridiculous uses of the law, you know? Like, if you want to read this, by the way, this is the only part I'll read. It was left to Ella Mulsdale, close friend of striker Kesser Zuhra, to highlight the spirit of defiance still being shown by those suffering through the grueling protest action, describing a scene that comical, tragic, and inspiring. She spoke of Zuhra's recent hospital visit. The hospital had no private rooms available, forcing her to use the crowded public waiting area. Mulsdale explained, "Now if anybody knows Kesser, this is their first mistake, because she made sure everybody in that waiting room knew about the hunger strike, knew about Palestine." In a further reminder of this link between Ireland and those currently enduring the brutality of the British government, she said Kesser was desperately trying to look around the room and try to find a friendly face, and she told me, "I never look for white people, but then I remembered the Irish, and I thought, well, there could be Irish people here." So she desperately tried to look and see if she could identify the Irish people in the waiting room. Despite dehydration and exhaustion, as the guards dragged Zuhra out of the hospital, she went, "Free Palestine," and the whole waiting room looked up and finally met her gaze. And here we have our Justice Secretary being confronted. He knows what's going on, by the way. They fucking know, and they're not talking about it.
4 weeks of hunger strikes? Why have you said nothing? Why have you said nothing?
My name is Shamina. I am a sister of one of the hunger strikers. We have been waiting to respond the biggest protesters. There's 7 hunger strikers in the UK right now. They have 5 demands. We've got the letter for you. We've been waiting for a response. I don't know anything about this. My brother is on now day 25. Really sorry, I don't know anything about this. I know. They wrote to you about October.
Jesus Christ, it's just the pathetic, like, odious, like, don't know anything about it. You're being given to learn about it.
And the Minister of Justice. Come on, David, let's go. And they're like, in the UK.
These people are doing what you should be doing. They're trying to stop a genocide.
They want fair trials. They want bail. They want Elbit shut down.
Like, how is that an unreasonable demand? Like, how is that an unreasonable demand? Like, wanting Elbit, a foreign weapons company, shut down.
The defense guys are a Palestine action, and they want to let it fail. There's been 4 weeks of hunger strikes. Why have you said nothing?
It's just, like, truly unbelievable. And this is how, like, UK Labour MPs are talking. Listen to this as well. This is off topic, but listen to this.
So very important. And what we won't do is turn away from this. And it's about ensuring that if there is a link between ethnicity, between race, between culture, that we identify that so that we can deal with it. Whether it's because, one of the reasons that the perpetrators are committing this crime, or one of the reasons that some have turned away from it, we need to get to the bottom of it, and I'm confident we will.
He's talking about a review into grooming gangs, and he's saying that they're going to investigate whether there's a link between culture and ethnicity. Like, and then this, like, I don't know who Matt Vickers is from. He's a Conservative deputy chair. Listen to this. This is what these people talk about.
Comes to a club predominantly supported by Jewish people, they're suddenly deemed a risk to public safety. This is not just inconsistent, it is an insult to the community still reeling from a violent anti-Semitic attack. At a moment when Jewish families needed reassurance, this decision sent entirely the wrong message. It undermined confidence. It contradicted the Prime Minister's own promise and fell short of the duty we owe to the Jewish people to keep them safe. And why was this decision taken? When the Minister addressed the House a couple of weeks ago, the Minister said that my colleague, the Shadow Home Secretary, was jumping the gun a bit in saying that certain pieces of intelligence were just made up. We now know that not only did imaginary matches somehow enter the intelligence picture.
Like, why are they seriously talking about this? It's very clear that the police have made the point. And there'll be no discussion of the hunger strikers from any of these people like this.
But officers giving evidence to Parliament were inaccurate about their dealings with the local Jewish community. That seriously undermines the integrity of this House and the vital work police forces do in securing accurate intelligence. The government have asked HMIC FRS to review the intelligence, but will the Minister go further and ensure the details are made public? We need full transparency and more accurate accounts than we've seen so far.
Like, this is just unreal that this is the world in which we live. That David Lammy can be just ignoring the fact that there are people at risk of death, that this can be ignored almost entirely by our media. Someone is on day 39. Amu is on day 39 of his hunger strike. At least Jeremy Corbyn's there. He may not be a perfect individual, but at least he's actually with the hunger strikers. But people might, like, die. What separates Labour from Tory? Now? Literally nothing. Maybe the Tories are a bit more racist, but that's it. Here's Jeremy Corbyn talking. Let's see if he's got anything base to say.
Taking hunger strike action in order to draw attention to the fact that they are remand prisoners. They're not guilty of anything. They haven't been convicted of anything. They're remand prisoners. Yet the trial date is now set for January 2027. That is 14 months on from now. For people who have a case they want to answer. They want their day in court, obviously, and they'll get that. But why are they in prison at all? They could quite easily be released on remand, and that is one of the requests they've been making. I would like to think they're going to get a fair trial. But there's something quite odd and interesting about this. A number of prisoners taking hunger strike action in this prison gets hardly any coverage on the mainstream media in this country. Now, what has happened to the principle of fearless investigative reporting by the British media? Why can't they report this case? Why can't they make a comment about the unusual nature of being held all this time on remand with apparently little prospect that they'll be released ahead of the trial date, which, as I said, is 14 months away? What's happened to our media? If
our media is no one dares to speak up about Palestine at all. I know some of you have been begging me to watch it, so I'll stick it on.
Welcome to Novara Live. I'm Port. Sean Shibby Middleborough was a prisoner in HMP Wandsworth, held on remand while awaiting trial for over a year. That's 12 months in...
By the way, in prison, you spend 23 hours a day in prison, pretty much, especially at Wandsworth.
...jail without ever having been convicted of a crime. One of the Filton 24, he was arrested and charged in November 2024 following a Palestine Action direct action to disable an Elbit weapons plant in Filton near Bristol, that he is alleged to have participated in that.
I don't love this media outlet, but I do actually like No Justice MTG, who is the presenter.
As you know, Palestine Action was proscribed as a terrorist organisation in July by then Home Secretary Yvette Cooper. It is currently an offence under the terrorism legislation to express support for the group, though that prescription will be the subject of a judicial review by the end of this month. Middleborough's trial in the Filton case is not set to begin until the middle of next year, meaning he would have spent nearly 2 years in prison before ever facing a jury. But last week, he was granted conditional bail to attend a family event. Middleborough never returned to the prison and is now at large, wanted by the police. Earlier today, my colleague Stephen Methan spoke to Middleborough from an undisclosed location.
Sean, you were granted conditional bail to go and attend a family event. So you were freed from HMP Wandsworth, where you'd been held on remand for over a year. And you never returned after that period of bail. So you absconded, as they say. Why?
I'm simply too sensible. I know that the courts and the system has been against us and against justice ever since there's been foreign interference in pro-Palestine protester cases. So I simply refuse to be an Israeli or a prisoner of war by Israel in a British prison.
I mean, more power to this guy, you know, like, I think it's fair enough.
That's how I saw myself, a political prisoner. And I just felt, you know, that on top of the fact that I've been remanded twice, plus both instances the charges were dropped after spending a period of time on remand with extensive bail conditions when I did get bail. That is simply just not sensible to play along with this pantomime any longer.
That thing you just said there about being a prisoner of war of Israel, can you expand on that and say, tell us why it is that's how you started to think of yourself?
That's simple. Israel imprisons Palestinians for far less, simply for being Palestinian, or there's even been known to exile people in the millions. So when Israeli interests, when it comes to the weapons manufacturers in Britain, are pretty substantially impacted, then I think that there's, in fact, I know that the Israeli embassy has contacted the Home Office multiple times. People can just search this as well. And there's been emails and correspondence between the Israeli embassy and the Home Office in order for the Home Office to politicize policing and crack down on protesters. As a matter of fact,
Like, Amnesty International has spoken out against this. In context like Iranian government repression, people would be like, yeah, okay, this is unacceptable. They'd cite Amnesty. But when it comes to, like, them speaking out against the UK abusing terrorism legislation, no one cares.
A couple of years ago, at what we called the siege outside UAV tactical systems in Leicester, when I went for court for that, with at least, I don't know, probably close to 30 of us, but I was in the first trial grouping, and then evidence was disclosed from a police officer who was simply taking notes from a discussion with the Home Office down the phone, and the Home Office actually told them, focus not on the legitimate rights of the protesters, but instead on the business, talking about UAV tactical systems. So again, this is just stripping protesters' rights in favour of the Israeli arms industry. And I saw that years ago. I think I actually talked about it during my last interview with Nevada Media, and I have that in black and white. So that plus the terrorism legislation being used against pro-Palestinian protesters are just a part of a long list of reasons that are not a conspiracy, but there's a long list of reasons.
There is, like, genuinely a lot of truth to what he's saying. Police and prosecutors details shared with Israel during UK protests. Like, the information disclosed in response to an FOI request, Freedom of Information request, clearly raises questions and needs further investigation. Like, how is that a fair trial? That the Israeli embassy can just interfere?
As to why we are political prisoners and acting or being prisoners of war for Israel in British prisons, because at the end of the day, if the Israelis could have us in their prisons, they'd be much happier, but they can't do that. So they've got to settle for having us in prisons around Britain.
Look, I'm going to put an argument to you that someone could make, and I want to hear what you have to say about it, which is that in having breached your bail, someone could say, well, you now make it harder for other defendants in the Filton 24 to get bail because it establishes the possibility of a flight risk. What would you say to that argument?
Everybody shouldn't have even been arrested in the first place, and everybody should have bail irregardless. But what the arrest of the counter-terrorism policing has done is they actually stripped our rights to 6 monthly reviews on our bail applications. This is people who are going to be in prisons for at least 2 years in most cases before we see a trial, and that is not justice. Britain isn't following its own laws when it comes to granting us bail in the first place. You know, when I did get conditional bail, temporary bail, everybody was absolutely bamboozled, baffled that the judge never just gave me, you know, just full bail anyway. So, you know, the odds are stacked up against us. You know, plus the fact that they're saying that there's a terrorism connection in our case.
Like, I think also there's so much to say about the fact that this is also allegedly something to do with Iranian funding. And hello, Shakespeare. I think, yes, also being in a position of privilege is difficult, and it does feel odd, like eating your food and like having the ability to do it, and also having the ability to choose when you eat, what you eat, get whatever you want and try whatever you want. But I think ultimately you shouldn't just punish yourself for something that is not that is the fault of your government, and you should try and work to change that in any way that you have the capacity to do.
That virtually makes it impossible to get bail anyway, so I'm not making it harder for anybody, I don't think. And hopefully, inshallah, on the 25th to the 27th of this month, the judicial review will rule in favour of Budil Mori to say that the prescription of Palestine action was illegal. And when that comes in place, there's an exceptionally high probability that everybody will get bail anyway, because it would have exposed how unjust the UK government has been in our arrests and I would argue unlawful detention.
Let's talk about that connected to terror idea. So, as I understand it, you were initially arrested under the Terrorism Act. Is that right? And then those charges were dropped. But now there's this idea that the non-terror charges that have been applied against you are terror connected or connected to terrorism. Can you explain what that means, and also what happened at the arrest and what led to the dropping of the terror charges?
Sorry, I accidentally knocked into my desk. I will say, I'll leave the rest of this for people to watch in their own time. But I'll put a link in chat. Fuck, I keep knocking into my desk. My knee, I put it up and then it slipped. I do not stream on Twitch, no. But I mean, I was also just looking that whole time. There hasn't been much news about this guy. Does anyone know if he's still, like, at large? That's what it's like. It's like manhunt launched for Sean Middleborough. But it doesn't really say if he's still in prison or anything. But yeah, I don't know what we'll do now. Maybe I'll do a bit of slop to appease you guys. To appease the desires of all. I had quite a decent amount out of yesterday, but I didn't do.
Of her saying I'm collabing with Cav. I sent it in the chat. I wanted to watch it.
Let me look for it.
Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying this meme. So somebody said to Taylor Lorenz on Twitter, and by the way, almost no engagement on it. Can someone just cough on Taylor Lorenz already and put us all out of our misery? Now, this is certainly, I'd say it's uncouth, but it's obviously just based on the fact that she walks around everywhere with a N95 mask, and people poke fun at her for it a bit, right? But certainly,
this was a guy who called, like, Madison the most evil, horrible woman in the entire world just a few weeks ago. And now he's just, like, mocking Taylor Lorenz for this.
Certainly, I would...
And also, he has Tourette's, which most people wouldn't notice, you know?
Say it's some relatively innocent joke. But when she read this, she lost her fucking mind. This just happened yesterday. She goes,
Nazi curious Taylor Lorenz doxing a random Twitter user. Once again, I got a few comments on my recent post about Asmongold where someone was like, why would Ethan, what do you want him to, listen to this, what do you want him to do? Do you expect him to go out of his way to condemn everything morally wrong? You realize that's impossible? Asmongold does not spend his entire day attacking him like Yawl and Taylor Lorenz do. This is all obvious. You people are just disingenuous morons. Now, first of all, Ethan Klein has gone over after Hassan Piker, someone who spent months actually defending him and saying, "Oh no, he's not a Nazi. He's not a Zionist. He's not all of this." But of course, you know, apparently not go and has also been on this major campaign against Twitch anti-Semitism. Has like made a multitude of different videos about Twitch's anti-Semitism problem. Like, Ethan basically got Twitch to say Zionist is a slur. And look at this. Why does nobody care? We need to stop laughing. The Hassan is a Weasley little liar. I won't let Hassan lie about me to his audience. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Idubbbz and Hassan situation keeps getting worse. Hassan Piker laughs at dead Israeli children. We need to talk about Ludwig. Didn't he have a video called Twitch's anti-Semitism problem?
So she doxes...
Oh, wait, but there was actually an even better one. What a weirdo Klein is. Why would he focus on someone making posts about calling CPS on his children and not on the political stuff that you're fired up about? Because Ethan has been on this anti-Semitism campaign for months on end. Like, this is not something new. What, because of Zionists that you can't make ad revenue on Twitch? Is that really true? But, like, yeah, just this kind of stuff is crazy.
This random Twitter user. Blank is a marketing associate at Blank Health. So she gives this random person's name and work employer, a healthcare company, but she spends her days abusing disabled people. Okay, she's referring to herself, by the way, as disabled. Yeah, sit on that for a minute. Spends her day...
An autoimmune disease can be considered a disability. Like, what are you talking about? Ethan, you're technically disabled. I'm technically disabled in some ways because I have asthma. Although I'm not, I personally don't feel that way, but that doesn't mean that I tell someone that they can't feel that way for having asthma. And also, asthma varies in its chronic nature. Like, some people can barely breathe. But, like, also, Ethan has accused just about everyone of doing CPS, you know?
Abusing disabled people and calling for disabled people to be killed, including a high-profile journalist. So you're a high-profile journalist? I hope disabled people realize what companies like Blank Health facilitate. So she's accused this person for this joke of abusing and calling for them to be killed. Now, just a reminder, this person said, "Could someone just cough on Taylor Lorenz and put us out of our misery?" And her response was, "This person's trying to get me killed."
Ethan, one of your co-hosts thinks that he's going to be shot.
Tagging their work and their name. That's fucking bananas, dude. With their employment information, their position, that wasn't enough. She responded, "The fact that a bigot like Blank can openly call for a disabled journalist." Girl, stop calling yourself the... I've never seen anyone like this in my life. The fact that a bigot like Blank can openly call...
One of the people around you said that he thought he was going to be sniped, so he couldn't have the curtains open, which is truly amazing.
...for disabled journalists to be killed while doing healthcare comms for a company like Blank Health is so disturbing. I hope disabled people can communicate the danger people like her pose. She's begging for people to get them fired. Taylor, this person is not trying to get you killed. Right? Just to be clear.
But I'm not going to lie, like, the people, Wait, fuck Taylor Lorenz. Why are you saying fuck Taylor Lorenz? Taylor's actually a very nice person.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, he considers journalist Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib as well.
At least not in my opinion. Certainly. And she's calling herself a high... God, yeah. Oh, God. Here's the... Oh, so then I started poking fun. Wait, hold on. This is new. Oh, God. You guys are going to love this. She's, of course, retweeting herself, Ethan's attic. Misogynist Ethan Klein continues to mock Taylor Lorenz's health condition. I have Tourette's, and all your friends say I'm on drugs, so I'm actually disabled. Ableist. Where's my disabled placard? All you have to do is wear a mask. Loser. Long COVID doesn't make you disabled. Certainly, there are...
Jesus Christ. This guy is just such a horrible individual. I like constantly going on about how tough his life is and all of this crap, and him pretending that he's some like wonderful leftist figure, and these people who worship him and just love around him. Ugh, just Jesus Christ, awful guy.
Other things that would be a better argument for such. So hold on. Misogynist Ethan Klein continues to mock Taylor Lorenz's health condition after promoting a tweet asking for someone to cough on her in an attempt to kill her. Ethan thinks death threats are funny as long as they aren't directed to him. Now, nobody... Taylor, you are talking to yourself, but are you actually convincing anyone?
Long COVID. To be fair, I had the coronavirus, I think about a year ago, and literally for a while I couldn't walk around without coughing to the point where I'd throw up. Like, I used to have to drive to university, and I used to have these insane coughing fits. You can actually see it because sometimes it started when I debated History Revealed, was like the first weekend of it, but it was a real problem. Like for a long time, I couldn't recover. I don't know what caused the problem.
One that making fun of someone coughing on you is a death threat. Ethan Klein encourages his fan to cough on me, knowing I'm severely immunocompromised and sick. There's so many of us.
Like, surely as well, just encouraging your fans to do anything around Taylor Lorenz and posting 14 stories about her just in the last 24 hours is truly an amazing thing.
Dealing with health issues, cancer treatment, chemo. Girl, you do not have cancer. You are not in chemo. You wear an N95 mask outside. That's it. You're just a little cautious. That doesn't mean you have cancer. And it's disgusting that Ethan Klein is excited by the idea of his fans killing or harming people like us.
Well, what is the joke? Coughing on someone who's like, even if someone was just concerned about their health and you knew that publicly, why would it be funny to go cough on them?
What the fuck are you talking about? She's deranged, dude. It's crazy. She continues, Ethan Klein relishes in harming cancer patients? Do you have cancer? Are you announcing that you have cancer? But also, it's just first of all, it's a joke. I didn't even make the joke. I was just saying that it was, or maybe an overreaction.
But like as well, that this is just all this guy does, just harasses people on the internet. Like just harassment after harassment. Goes on and on about the CPS call. Blames everyone else for CPS. Like, let's be frank here. Like, Ethan, come on. CPS isn't going to fucking kill you. Like, and by the way, also, he's so upset over Taylor Lorenz making a joke about CPS. Funny how this one went away after a while, that all he did was basically try to get Taylor Lorenz fired, to get Matt Lieb fired from Good Mythical Morning. And, but yet, like, kind of left it alone when Matt Lieb tweeted this. I'm 100% against anyone calling CPS on YouTubers they don't like. 48 hours after being harassed by Ethan Klein later. We gotta save them kids.
People going through chemo, getting immunosuppressive therapy, dealing with health issues, trying to survive after organ transplants. He thinks his fans should...
Like, it's just the world's biggest hypocrite. And I think Madison made a point about, like, talking about how he's got, like, this almost cult-like followers who simultaneously just harass and do the most heinous shit, and yet believe that Ethan Klein is the #1 biggest victim of oppression and misogyny in the entire world.
Kill them.
I feel blessed, even though they're family members of mine. I'm sorry to hear about that. I mean, when it first started, I remember my lecturer who was from Iran told me that, like, his family were in bad situations and that some of them had died as a result.
Fighting for our lives every day. It's sick. Taylor, are you going through chemo? Have you got an organ transplant? Or are you just someone who walks around cautious with an N95 mask?
Thanks for having me.
What the fuck is happening? Am I losing my mind? We already have a barbaric medical system that dehumanizes those of us who are sick. It's already a fight to stay alive and keep working, massive medical bills. And this YouTuber lives in a $10 million mansion, jealous. Wow, you really keep tabs on my personal life.
Yeah, you do live in a $10 million mansion, and yet you are the most miserable man on the entire planet.
All day harassing and abusing women and the disabled. Girl, you are a lunatic.
You need to leave those women with cancer alone, Ethan.
Bro, what the fuck?
Shut the fuck up, AB, you little rat.
So let me get this straight. She's a disabled...
Genuinely, like, fuck AB. Like, genuinely, one of the most cowardly individuals in the world. His boss likes tweets about the Islamic takeover.
She's a high-profile... These are all things she said about herself. She's a young girl. She's a high-profile, disabled journalist. And she said, I don't know what she's going through, right? But she's compared herself to people going through cancer, chemotherapy, and organ transplant recipients.
Today I feel disabled.
You know, as far as I know, she has long COVID and wears a mask out of an abundance of caution. This is fantastic.
So, like, what? Why spend your time mocking her? I don't think Taylor Lorenz mocked you for having Tourette's ever.
Fantastic. I did make a tweet this morning Or not a tweet.
But by the way, also, this is so insanely boring. Like, Ethan just sat here going, who watches this?
Don't do that.
Me?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll find it.
By the way, before you see this, look at this clip came out of her big interview with Glenn Greenwald, who for some reason has never talked about me, right? Suddenly he becomes friends with Taylor Lorenz a few months ago, and now he's like calling me a vindictive psychopath, which in the same
You are a vindictive psychopath.
where he goes, and to be fair, I don't know anything about any of this. But tell me what you guys think about this statement.
Billionaires, whatever, suing them into the ground. And now you have, then now you have Ethan Klein, who's also a powerful millionaire and has also aligned himself with other powerful, rich Zionists.
100%.
Like Ryan Kavanaugh.
He's aligned himself. Maybe he hasn't aligned himself with Ryan Kavanaugh, but he's certainly aligned himself with other rich Zionist millionaires, i.e. fucking Destiny for a while, i.e. figures like Dan Saltman. Hen Mazigue is probably a millionaire from spewing his crap.
Jew. What?
Kavanaugh, who co-founded Triller, he's like an entertainment guy with millions of dollars. He previously sued Ethan Klein for defamation. Ethan lost.
Settled.
And then they sort of aligned now because they're both Israel supporters to, I guess.
What the fuck are you talking about? Me and Kavanaugh are working together because we're both Zionist? What the fuck?
To have this sort of stance towards their critics, where they don't think anybody that has less money than them should be allowed to speak freely on the internet.
I mean, if you're talking about them working in the same way. No, AB does not stand for absolute bastard. It stands for absent backbone.
Hell is going on in her mind.
This is the kind of stuff that you can find only on Rumble.
On Rumble, baby.
Thanks for having me.
What the hell is she doing? What are you saying? I'm working with Ryan Cap. What the fuck?
Ground, and now you have, is not willing to cover, challenging people in power. They're covering the stuff that the mainstream media is not willing to cover. They're speaking up about Palestine, whatever, and they have these powerful interests, these powerful legal.
I don't think she's okay.
Firms, these powerful billionaires, whatever, suing them into the ground, and now you have,
Say it. She's like, do I say it? Say it. Ethan Klein is working with Ryan Kavanaugh and the Zionist lobby to silence all critics. The fuck?
The wall kissers, dude.
Yeah, why don't you just call me a wall kisser and get it over with?
Well, I mean, you did hump the wall, Ethan, but you were mocking it rather than offering any respect.
Isn't this, like, pretty fucking anti-Semitic? To be like, oh, one Jew, two Jew. They all doing Zion.
Once again, like, you have sat there and mocked fucking Taylor Lorenz for being concerned about people thinking it's funny to cough on her. And by the way, you do have a lot of deranged fans. But now apparently it's anti-Semitic to mention that you're behaving in a similar way to, Ryan Kavanaugh.
This bullshit together. They must be working together. Like, who the fuck are you? What's your source on that one, dummy, dope-ass loser?
Thanks for having me.
What, you never cough? Oh, she thinks she's so much better than us because she's never coughed in her life. I've heard her cough.
Comedy podcast, by the way.
Cough. That's her sound. What is the sound? Is that the sound she make?
No, sorry.
What's the sound she made? Yeah, do you think I want that sound near me? You know what that sound does if I was near it? It would cause organ failure. And I wouldn't need an organ transplant. And then I'd be really scared of coughs.
Thanks for having me. You have Ethan Klein, who's also a powerful millionaire and has also aligned himself.
Thank you for saying that about me. Separately.
With other powerful, rich Zionists like Ryan Kavanaugh.
What are you? I'm sorry, but
you are a rich Zionist who tries to harass people off the internet, and sue them.
This is literally breaking my brain right now.
And your fans openly celebrate that, but
Ryan Kavanaugh, who co-founded Triller, he's like an entertainment guy with millions of dollars. He previously sued Ethan.
So that makes sense if that was something she read on Snark, which once again proves what we all know is obvious, is that she's a frequenter if not a part, not a secret participant, if not a mod. Let's be real, in that subreddit. God, she's crazy. She is really, really something. She is scarily gone.
Inclined for defamation. Ethan lost, and then they sort of aligned now because they're both Israel.
By the way, did you know that today Ethan Klein's biggest hero, Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib, someone who he's called a great man and respect him greatly, has started this claim here that is being spread by the Israeli Foreign Ministry. Only Hamas could sabotage baby formula and still demand sympathy for starving children, manufacturing the problem, marketing it as tragedy, and then we got an AI photo of Hamas fighters smashing baby formula. And all of this, right, comes from a fucking tweet by the idiot that is Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib. Like, this quote comes entirely from this guy. He's been pumping this shit out. He's been pumping this shit out. And he's in what... I mean, this is just like a... This is the wrong post. This is not the one I was looking for. Okay, I think this has the Stranger Things music on, so I'm not going to play it, but... Hamas hid tons of baby formula to damage Israel with starvation claims. Literally no one believes this. No one believes this. And now apparently the guy who works with a Washington, D.C. based pro-Israel think tank, who, by the way, one of his colleagues is a key figure in the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, is now the guy who's actually got this information. Utmost respect for this great man. Is prominent Hamas critic Ahmad Fuad Al-Khatib a Palestinian prophet or a voice in the wind? Fucking hell, I can't believe... Well, I can believe Haaretz published that. But just, like, utmost respect for this great man. But, like, look at this. AIPAC. Fucking AIPAC is retweeting this. Fuck Ethan Klein and when he said he had his great record on Palestine. It wouldn't even surprise me if he got a fucking text out of Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib will do anything to delegitimize Hamas and anything else. And by the way, all these people who claim that there were major protest movements in Gaza, now that there's a ceasefire, where have all those protests gone, by the way? Like, you don't see them. Now would be a much easier time to protest with far more adequate food in many of the places. Of course, certain places still don't have the aid. But in certain places, but also the risk of Israeli drone strikes on a mass protest. That's not going to fucking happen, especially a pro-Israel one. But apparently, Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib knew about this during the worst days of the hunger crisis in Gaza in the first 6 months. Hamas deliberately hid literal tons of infant formula and nutritional shakes for children by storing them in the clandestine warehouses belonging to the Gaza Ministry of Health. The goal, as I said then, was to worsen the hunger crisis and initiate a disaster as part of the terror group's famine narrative in a desperate effort to stop Israel's onslaught against Gaza and force the return of the UN distribution system and away from the controversial GHF. Now activists in the Strip are documenting the waste and deliberate disposal of tons of infant formula, nutritional children's shakes, and children's powdered milk, which Hamas had hoarded away, given the saturation of the coastal enclave with humanitarian aid after the ceasefire 2 months ago. By the way, he is about the only person reporting this. International organizations say Hamas are not stealing the aid, but this guy who's the great, brave voice that Ethan has the utmost respect for, that he brought on his platform, this guy having the audacity to say that he is pro-Palestine is genuinely amazing. And I think Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib is the best example of why. When countless other Palestinian activists and I, from Gaza, said this back in July, August, and September, we were villainized, attacked, threatened, and made into pariahs by the pro-Palestine industrial complex and activist mafias. Even though for Gazans, the evidence was so clearly apparent before our eyes. You don't live in Gaza! What is this? Oh, he doesn't live in Gaza. What those in the West continue to fail to understand is that there is no being pro-Palestine without also having a serious vigilance against Hamas's continued manipulation of international public opinion to hide behind the Strip's civilian population suffering, something that the terrorist organization's own actions have led to and created. This guy on Ethan's podcast, by the way, he said that, like, Gaza was, like, a great place to live in prior to October the 7th. Granted, it was better, but anyone trying to sell you this narrative that it is like, a normal place to be living are insane. Genuinely insane. Never allow yourself to be a useful idiot in Hamas's propaganda. You can have compassion for the real suffering of the Palestinian civilians of Gaza and demand Israel's action to facilitate aid entry into the coastal enclave while still holding Hamas accountable for its part in causing a hunger and starvation crisis. This is the video. By the way, I find it pretty odd that there is a cat in this alleged secret warehouse that hasn't just eaten the milk. It wouldn't even surprise me if he got this, like, directly from one of these, because of how embedded this guy is with Israel, the American government. Genuinely would not surprise me if the people who actually did this, were some of those, like, pro-Israel assets who are way more documented in stealing aid and then took this video for him to post. Like, surely the cats would have gotten into this, right? If there are just cats roaming around, how would there be so much, like, perfect milk hidden away? Or did they just take it all out of the warehouse for a photo op? Surely a fucking cat can get into that. But don't worry, Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib found this. Is there more? Because that's not tons. Yes, this is just a sneak peek and only what's been captured recently. A question no one has been able to answer. How exactly are a couple of thousand capable of hiding supplies from millions without a single camera seeing it? A question no one has been able to answer. How exactly are a couple of thousand people capable of hiding hundreds of hostages over 2 years among millions without a single... Oh, shut up. Shut up. God, this guy will say anything to defend Israel, but utmost respect for this great man. Like, it is literally being posted. Eitan Fishburger. Fucking hell. Mossad satirical and awesome. Nicole Lamper, Aviva Klotmas. This is Adam Louis Klein. This is a real greatest hits of, like, the worst Hasbaris on the internet. I can imagine this, like, sack of shit sitting there typing out his tweets. Just the most horrible individual. Hillel Neuer, Misfit Patriot, Richard Kemp. Oh, Christ almighty. Like, Hamas have come back into power after you've advocated for this. Let's see what he had to say about the killing of Yasser Abu Shabab. The killing of anti-Hamas militia leader Yasser Abu Shabab in Gaza is a significant symbolic blow to efforts aimed at challenging challenging the terror group through an armed rebellion by Gazans. His name was linked to controversy, having been associated with aid bandits and looters, not to mention the fact that he was supported by the Israeli government and military, who provided him with arms and funds to go after Hamas in southeastern parts of Gaza. What is the song you've just sent? Maybe I'll watch it. But, like, just this guy saying this shit, like, it's also very clear how out of touch this is with Palestine, because so many people were, like, happy to see this guy dead. Like, you didn't see people in Gaza weeping over him. Like, he just gives his piece about what he thinks going to happen. Like, and also, by the way, each time one of these is released, and I'm glad this person put this in, because it's just an example, this stuff is just shown that it's not the case as to, like, why this is happening. Like, once again, am I meant to believe my eyes? And this is the pro-Israel point. Am I meant to believe my eyes that one video that totally lacks context is actually the answer as to how, as to what's happening in Gaza? Or do I believe the wealth of information, or just basically go with the Israeli narrative? Anti-Hamas activist Ahmed Fouad al-Khatib. One of the list of think tanks that received the most funding from Pentagon contractors. This guy is like an American asset. He's a CIA asset. And he does look like Al from Toy Story. You're right about that. We can watch this. I am happy with this.
I'm a liberal guy, but sometimes kids gotta die. It's true. I saw a free parking sign, thought it said free Palestine. It is Zionist Jew, born and raised with Western views, yeah? This is self-defense, so get your neck off of me, boo, please. Ain't it? Israeli, none of your business. You what? This is my land. You can tell by me accent. Yeah. My own land is threatened. I'm from the main of the West End, and my white skin is reddened because the sun is anti-Semitic. Arabs hate gays, make all them ladies them cover their face. It's a disgrace because we love the gays. And if you don't like us, I hope you get AIDS, bitch. I'm a good guy, I'm a good guy, I'm a good guy, I'm a bad guy. Arabs are genetically predisposed to hating women. If you don't believe me, you're a fucking twat, you are. And I hope Hamas finds you, yeah? And I hope they corner you on the street and... I love all people. Yeah. You can tell because I drew a heart with the dreads of me tank. I respect all cultures, but you better be like the West or you're gonna get banked and stripped, lit up, split up, British shit, set up Jewish settlements, pick up TikTok, do a dance, but that ain't me though. Haven't I always been right by your side? Whether you're black, purple, yellow or white, even support the creation of free Palestine. I say, Pico, cut it, run it, done it, go. Good or bad, it's hard to tell. Going fast for Israel. BB is bad. Yeah. Wish he was gone so peace could be had. But this is a war. Yeah. So I support him like he was my dad. Or maybe me nan. I love me nan.
I've always loved the flash up of Golda Meir.
It's the occupied land, but I trust the plan. So I'ma defend it as long as I can. These Arabs are racist. It's not a wall, it's a quarantine shit, it's contagious. It's not a genocide, it's a vaccine, it's containment, yeah? Some people think shooting fish in a barrel is courageous. Don't care what the ICJ says. Palestinians is problematic, which means they need to die. Everyone knows. It's complicated. I believe in peace, I believe in love, in equality. I believe in all that liberal stuff, which is why Palestinians should be exterminated. Oopsie daisy. More than two things can be true. Arabs like matter a lot less than Jews. For it was not as good as Borat 2, yeah. My brain hurts, cause it is leak current out of me skull. I am ugly and I am bald. Water and oil. It's my political evolution. Blood and soil, yeah. Mix them up, that's a two-state solution.
That is a banger. He's never really reached that point again, I will say, in terms of his songwriting career, because that is impossible to reach again.
Supporters
Chad
too.
said she sounds like an airplane toilet flushing.
Interesting. Yeah. I hear it.
You know, I guess to have this sort of stance towards their critics, where they don't think anybody that has less money than them should be allowed to speak freely on the internet.
About? Only on Rumble. Hit him with it. System update. Oh, here's our boy, puffy face Glenn.
Thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday.
You're killing it, brother. Great journalism.
Glenn Greenwald is nearly 60, and arguably he does look better than Ethan.
Two journalistic titans of the industry
Also, Glenn Greenwald broke the Snowden story, didn't he?
come together for hard-hitting reporting only on Rumble. Wow. I was flabbergasted that she said that, man.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I did post this story. Let me see here. Which, again, I don't know what she's upset about. This is me literally doing what she wants. I thought this was kind of funny. And then he said someone should cough on me. Little Karen joke for you. So
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop.
this might have upset her, but I don't know why. I was telling
It
people
is utterly ridiculous.
Thanks for the $2, Meg or Maggie.
not to do it. I said, do not cough near Taylor Lorenz if you see her. I cannot emphasize this enough. Under no circumstance should you ever cough near Taylor Lorenz. If you see her in the theater, leave. If you spot her on the subway, pull the emergency cord. Do not risk it. You may not know it, but just by reading this, you are currently stalking her, which is a crime. You will go to jail, and I cannot afford to lose any more viewers.
It's so funny watching this mentally deranged individual who has spent the last year saying everything has been an anti-Semitic attack on him, that everyone sent CPS to his house, that everyone was trying to kill him and harm him, that Hassan had a bleach sword that was actually a dog whistle to the Nazis in spite of all of his other politics, that a Sabra hummus tier list was the worst anti-Semitic incident that he'd ever seen, to then now making jokes at Taylor Lorenz.
So stop thinking about her right now. And most importantly, never, and I mean never, cough anywhere near Taylor Lorenz. That's assault with the intent to kill. You know, like I mean this is really serious. So
Speaking of that, did you? This is unrelated, but did you see that Dave Portnoy called for the murder of an NFL coach this weekend?
No.
It's a pretty wild.
Let me
clip.
see that.
Yeah, I think
Wait, is it just because he's mad they lost or something?
Yeah, well, he thinks it's rigged, and he was really mad.
I'm a good judge of.
At first,
I can rank.
Well,
calls
at
to
first
death.
he was just yelling.
I don't care about his opinions. Do you want to hear Dan's opinion about it, though? Because we have this. We have this. We have it.
Talking to somebody, and she was like to our right.
So here's
at an industry party. It's extremely
Sort of
normal.
great
I
about
thought she
there,
would die
No,
if she went outside too. Like what's
She was masked
going
up.
on? Yeah, that probably shouldn't be socializing at a big industry party.
And also,
I love the sack of shit world that is Ethan Klein, you know. But yeah, I mean, just leave Taylor Lorenz alone, but he won't because she's a woman. Why not talk to me or Isaac? Yeah, congratulations on 2.5 million subs, Ethan. You're doing so well. Like, all he's doing is talking about Trisha now, and like Trisha being bad and pro-Israel. The other funny thing is, by the way, Casey Tron was in Hassan's chat, which I feel like is yet more of an indication that her apology and condemnation of Hassan is like a joke. And yet, the entire thing is tone deaf and ableist. Like, there are many people who cannot experience life in the way they want to because they're immunocompromised, and all of them just cracking jokes about it. When Ethan has a long history of like problems with people who have disabilities or, you know, and like ableist problems, and ableist issues that he's constantly been accused of and has done. But like also, Casey Tron was in Hassan's chat. Not him reading that, laughing my ass off. Thank you, Hassan. And just her sending stuff in chat. Not the Hassan Nikki beef starting. Christ almighty. I just can't believe that she's just hanging out in his chat now after, like, apparently him, like, betraying her. Very obvious that she just said that for the... Well, I don't know why she said that. I don't give one solitary fuck. I literally do not give a single fuck. Ethan is going to be so pissed. He's going to be like, you betrayed the settlement. I told you you could not associate with Hassan Piker. How dare you? He did an anti-Semitic dog whistle towards me. Like, once again, also, I think the other thing is like, especially with this Taylor Lorenz stuff, Taylor Lorenz is genuinely concerned about herself. Her health, sorry. Taylor Lorenz is genuinely concerned about her health. Well, I'll just double check. Has Ethan Klein posted a story? Yeah, there's like an Instagram account that runs on the basis of, it's called, no, a Twitter account called, has Mbappe scored a free kick yet? It did have to give up. But, you know, because Mbappe did score a free kick. Has Ethan Klein condemned Asmongold for collaborating with, wanting to collaborate with neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes? The answer is no.
Really, really hard to avoid getting COVID, but then still somehow it snuck through?
No, I wasn't avoiding it. That's the problem. I thought I was safe because I had other friends that had gotten COVID many times, and I was like, oh, whatever, it's not a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
I got COVID outside. And yeah, it f***ed up really, really badly. And now my immune system's like completely shot. So
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I definitely feel like I still feel the effects in some way of getting it a couple years ago. Like it just doesn't, I don't know. I never felt like I really got back to 100%.
it's not good. I wish that the government would like invest in some shit. I sound insane saying this, but I really think like AI needs to like, I'm like, can't we get AI to like come up with some sort of cure that actually
Maybe like a COVID NFT.
Adam 22 is a dickhead, but that was funny. Yup, they're treated as subhuman and infantile, but also lazy and entitled at the same time. Source, grew up defending my autistic little brother from so much passive ableism as a kid. Oh, you're responding to, people have literally no problem being fucked up, vile cretins to immunocompromised and disabled people. It's so disheartening. Yes, and both political parties in the UK continue to target like disabled people and put them in bad situations. Oh my god, though. And like continually compound their suffering. Oh my god, though, on another note.
Here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind.
Two queens are duking it out, and I'm here for it.
Virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want
a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French.
To put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from.
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day.
Damn. I wonder what's going to happen. Are they going to do a debate? That will be the event of the century.
And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So
my Chris Kunzler Discord community, Charlie Kirk family.
Why every single day did they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
You know,
maybe if they hadn't sent the damn Egyptian planes.
So the conspiracies that are out there, all of the like. Do you think that there is more of it now because you do shine your light? I mean, did people just expect you would just go away?
I don't know what they expected. I don't know what they expected.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's what the
Her accessories are fucking crazy, to be fair.
conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously. If you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you.
Damn. Erica is fired up. Candace is fired up. Milo is fired up. Timmy P is fired up. Everyone is fired up. Oh my goodness. I cannot bloody wait. I cannot wait to see what the outcome is. But anyway, guys, I think we're done for the day. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. I'll be live again tomorrow covering whatever the hell is going on in the news. I hope that you have a lovely day. I'm flagging again. I think Monday really took it out of me, which is surprising because I was getting 4 hours easily before. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I'll see you later. News. I hope that you have a lovely day. I'm flagging again. I think Monday really took it out of me, which is surprising because I was getting 4 hours easily before. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Have a